Hello, everybody.
Welcome to day 2 for level 1 Global GEG.
Yay! We're ready to continue what we started last week. So, Stacy, can you share the slides, please?
Yay! So excited to watch Peely and Judy today. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody who's joining us: Tara, Mr. Rogers, Helen, Regina.
Is Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood?
I don't know. Mr.
Do we
Rogers,
know?
are you in your neighborhood?
A minute, I can't.
So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am from Pennsylvania on East Coast time. So it's good morning here.
Yeah, it's good morning here. Oh, somebody from Spain. Stuart! Stuart is joining us. Hi, Stuart. Friend Stuart. So I am in Monterrey, Mexico. It's also morning here. It's 26 degrees and sunny. And I don't know if you've heard, I don't think you have, but we have the biggest drought ever. So there's like almost no water, and in a very strong heat wave. You don't want to be in our place. Dana, you're joining us from?
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm joining you from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be a balming 110 today, and I'm so excited to be here. I actually missed last week because I was out of town, which I'm totally bummed about, but I get to join you today, and I wasn't even supposed to do that. And then yesterday, Stacey's like, hey, Dana, can you cover sites? And I'm like, absolutely, I can cover sites. So I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for joining us.
I'm here from Barranquilla, Colombia. It's a balmy 20 degrees C, which is 90 some. But if you add like the heat index with the humidity, it's even more horrible. And it's really early. It's 9 o'clock. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's only gonna get worse. But yeah, fun.
Hey, and I'm attending from sunny, currently gloomy Southern California. Our May gray turned into June gloom. It's now July Y. Waiting for the sun to come out, but so excited to be part of that.
Yay, yay, yay.
Hey,
All right.
Stacey, I think you're showing YouTube right now. Do you want to get the slide deck up there?
Yeah,
Ready, Freddy.
excellent.
Because you're showing your whole screen so we can see we can see YouTube.
Yeah.
So I am showing tabs, but I have them on the same tab. Sorry about that. Yay. Configuring. Take it away, Leon. Do you want me to take us off the screen now, Peely?
Yes, please. So we can start. And that's too small. Can you click on present, Stacy? The slideshow.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to present, but if I hit present, my whole screen disappears. I don't have a.
I can do it. You want me to do it?
Yeah, thanks,
Yes,
Dana.
please.
I don't know why it didn't.
Okay, here we go.
Maybe I haven't shared in the past. Sorry about that. Thank you.
All right. All right, Judy. Okay, so everybody, we started last week with our first day for level 1, and we went over some stuff. So we're gonna go and do a little bit of an overview, right, Judy?
Right. Let me try to get this slide deck up. I'm sorry. I'm trying
Yeah,
to do
don't
two
worry.
things.
I can't complain. I cannot share myself, so it's fine.
All right, there we go. All right, so slideshow, here we go.
There it is. Awesome.
Okay, so
Yep. We're going to be here all through 1 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Right.
Eh,
So we're
so
your
like
hosts.
yep, myself and Judy, we're very happy to be here, right, Judy? It's our first
That's
time
right.
presenting together for Global GEG. I mean, hosting at least, not presenting.
Hosting. Yeah. I've never hosted together. I've never hosted at all. So, we're good. But before we get started, be sure to follow us on Twitter. So I'm at PM Google Goddess.
And I'm at _ Pilar Charles, which is like Pilar Charles. I don't know, however you want to read it. That's Charles is my husband's last name.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
And I don't think I said where I'm from. I'm from Pennsylvania in the United States, and I live in the heart of Amish country on a farm. So we always kind of make fun of we raise chickens, so I kind of put my little Bitmoji there with my feathers on.
Well, I just thought it was like carnival-y, and so I put myself in like, yay, party. Party pose. All right, so
I have a little joke.
go ahead.
Okay. So what do you get when you cross Google with a car?
A Google car.
How about a search engine? Haha.
That's a good one. Excellent. All right, people. If you are not part of a GEG, you can find your local GEG by using that bit.ly over there. If you're interested in creating your own, because there's not a local one for you, like for your state, for your city, you can reach out to people in Global or to people in the Get program on Twitter too, and create your own. I did that actually, thanks to Luis, who's here with us, and we created Gag Nuevo León, which is the state where I live in Mexico. Yay! I'm also leader there. We haven't done a whole bunch of things, but we're trying.
So I love my connections with GEG. I reached out to Global during the pandemic and became part of it, and I have learned so much through GEG, and I've made a group of educators that are part of my personal learning network. So we learn from each other, and so it's a really great opportunity for you to learn from other people.
It is. It is. I'm very thankful for having found my people in the pandemic. Yes, it was like the worst time ever for a teacher, when we started, and having this PLN helped a lot. So, everybody, if you want to get people to follow you, why don't you share your handle on the chat, and then we can follow each other.
That's great.
Hey, look, Mel is joining us. Hi, Mel. She's in Argentina.
Oh, welcome, Mel.
And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Viera is from Vis in the Adriatic Sea. That's very far away. Hi, and thank you for joining us. Okay, so we didn't do much of a challenge last week. We only, Prof. Gerardo was from Campeche in Nuevo León. I'm sorry, in Mexico. Created a Kahoot for people to review, and these are our top players of last week. We're gonna have another Kahoot for you to test yourself.
Yeah, just practice it, see what you learned, and keep up with what you learned. And yeah, I love that. So top 5. That's good job, guys.
Yes, yes, yes. And thanks everybody for starting to share your ads. Awesome. I'm gonna make sure to start following everybody.
Me too.
All right. Moving on to what is it that we did last week? If you want to check, the YouTube for last week's video, we went over That's today, no?
Yeah, that's
We have-
today. Last
Oh,
week
somebody.
we did
Yeah, last week we did Chrome, Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Docs, and Slides. And so if you want to go back and check that up, it's up in YouTube in our channel, Global GG channel. And today we're gonna go over this, right, Judy?
right. So we're going to do forms and sheets and classroom, slides, groups, YouTube, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end, as well as learn about how you can take the test, take the exam.
Yeah, how
So-
to register for the tests, exactly.
Yep, and we have some really good people presenting today. So you're in for a treat, and you're gonna get a lot of really good information to prepare you for your level 1 exam. I remember I took my level 1 exam maybe 3 years ago. It's changed a lot since I took it because it used to be situational, but now it's multiple choice. So
Yeah.
And I was
like-
so nervous, and I was studying and studying and studying. And then when I took it, I'm like, well, that was a piece of cake.
Yeah. And the good thing is that it's like kind of like an open book type of test. So you don't really need to memorize the whole thing. What Google wants you to do is be able to manage the platform, like the apps. And so if you get stuck during the time that you're taking your test, you can open up another window or another tab and start looking up a little bit of help on how to do a certain thing that they're asking you during the test. So the test is all about showing your knowledge of the menus, mostly on how to do stuff.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so to make this a little bit more interactive, we want you to remember to take a selfie while you're with us during the course of the day and share it. Tag Global GEG. You can use the hashtag Bootcamp22, and so we can RT you in your picture. Yay.
And so I guess this is the Kahoot for later on to practice with. So we can bring this up again later. So you'll join the Kahoot, you'll play the challenge, make your best, watch your progress, and check your final position.
Melissa, yes, you have your certification is valid for 3 years, and you have to renew it every 3 years. Yes, that's
I just
correct.
renewed mine this past fall, and it was really for me to renew it. It really didn't take me that long. I think they give you 3 hours.
They give you
to
90 minutes.
Yeah. So, but I was done a lot sooner.
Yeah, like Stuart says, 3 hours is plenty of time. Like it used to be a little bit more stressful with scenarios if you were like unsure of things. But right now, I think they made it super easy for people to be more motivated to take the certification with the pandemic times and the need to go online. So take advantage of that. The test is really not that hard, and you have plenty of time to go over it, right?
Right. So, all right. Do you want to hear another joke?
Okay, go ahead.
Why was Google not available?
I don't know why. I can't think of anything.
Because they had gone fishing. PH fishing.
Fishing. There was fish. Identity theft. Fishing. Oh my God, Judy, you and the jokes. Those are awesome.
I have
All right,
more.
people. Save them for in between sessions. So our first person to present is our good friend Luis from Colombia. He is the Sheets Wizard, and he's going to talk about forms and sheets, right? Is that correct, Luis? You're mute.
Of course I am. Right. Yeah. I'm here talking about the boogeyman in the room, which is something that people are deathly afraid of. And we'll start with with a nice cousin first, and then we'll get to the evil sheets second. But it's so much less hard than people actually, pretend it to be. So yeah. Hello, everyone. In case you weren't in here earlier or you weren't watching earlier, my name is Luis Pertus. I'm one of the co-founders of Global GEG, and so proud of all the crazy people that are here with us. I'm also right now. This is the first time I'm using my new title because I am now the data management and analysis person at Colegio Marymount Barranquilla, which is a brand new position that I'm starting next week.
Yay!
Yay! I'm so excited. What?
You're the perfect person for the job.
I hope so. So I'm really happy about it. It's the first year that I've been in education for over 20 lots years, and it's like the first year that I'm going to work at a school and not actually teach. So it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, we're gonna be talking. I'm also a Google certified innovator and trainer. There you have that picture over there is me at the Google headquarters here in Colombia. I was there last month. It was so much fun. I was invited to like a round table, and we went around and we knew the Google offices, and it was like really, really interesting. Looks like a nice place to work. So yeah, please, my Twitter is at the bottom over there, and if you want to follow me, I need the follows because I need to get over the limit so I can follow more people. So I will eventually follow everybody that was here then that they posted their @ sign. But as soon as I have my limit restriction lifted, which is horrible and I hate it. And since it's Colombia, I'm drinking some coffee because it is way early and it still hasn't kicked in and haven't woken up.
True.
So, okay, let's start with the nice cousin of these two, which is Google Forms. And please, everything in my two presentations are very heavily demo driven. So I'm going to be showing you stuff. It's not on the slides. So even if you download the slide deck after, it's better if you watch the video because I'm going to be doing all of this. I'm going to be demoing it. So I would appreciate if you do that. And right now, let me copy this. Okay. I'm going to post in the chat the link to the form that I am
going to leave you for you to do it on your own.
Sure. Thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna post the link to the form that I'm gonna show you guys how it works, so you guys can all follow along and look at what I'm doing at the same time. Okay, it should be posted in the chat feed, and what I'm gonna be showing you is how Google Forms works. And the really basic stuff that you need to get through in Google Forms in the test. So first thing, we're gonna be talking about like 4 little really basic things, which is how to get to a new form, all the question types that there are in forms, how do you send the form, how you share the form, and how eventually you view the results of the form. And there's 2 ways, and I'm gonna really show you one. And I'm going to hint at the other, but then that's at the end. So if you click on the link, you're going to be able to open this, which is a form that contains all the question types in a form. And right now, my cat is trying to attack me. She's sitting on the table right next to me, and she's trying to drink my coffee. It's not nice. Okay, so this is the form that you're going to link. But first, let me show you how to get to a form. Okay, so. First thing you do is you hit Google, and then there are officially, let's call it 3 ways of getting up a new form. And then there's the easiest way of all, which is the one that I enjoy the most, which is the magical thing that is forms.new. So if you type up forms.new, all it's going to do, it's going to show you a brand new form, which should load. So there you go. If you type in forms.new, let me type it up in the chat just in case. Forms, not froms. I just typed froms. Forms.new. Okay, if you type up forms.new, My cat is trying to get at my stuff. Okay, if you type up forms.new, forms.new will throw you a new form. And this is what a brand new blank form is, what it looks like. And you're going to see all the little different things. Adding questions is super easy. You have a basic question here, and then you have lots of choices of how to add like question types. And I am going to get into it. Karen, we're gonna send a link to the slides at the end so that people don't skip ahead. Okay, so let me go back to the form sample that I had before. Oh, no, there's another way of opening forms. And the other way of opening forms is if we go back to Google, then there's two different ways. If you hit the waffle icon, then there's two ways of getting to forms. The first easiest way is you go down here and you go and search for forms, which is this beautiful purple icon. And then you hit there and you're gonna be greeted to the forms like blank interface where you're gonna get several templates. And if you click over here, you're gonna be able to see like the template gallery, and there's like several template suggestions that you might use. And you can also see like all the other forms that I've been doing forever and ever and ever. And all you have to do is either hit a new blank form right here in this square over here, or you can use any one of the templates that you want. If you want to do it like the longest way is if you are a Google Drive fiend like me and you are already on Google Drive. So you hit your Google Drive, and then all you have to do is hit here where it says new. And then when it says all the file types, right down here is the purple forms icon. And then it'll either tempt you to use a blank form, a blank quiz, or use a template. So if you just want to hit a form, all you click is on the blank form, and it'll open a new window for you with the blank form. So those are like the three easy to use, easy to follow ways of getting a new form. I'm sure there's different other weird ways of getting at a form, but this is like the three easy ones that pop up like on the tests and stuff that you can like look at. So let's go to the form that I already shared with all of you guys, where we have like all of the different types of forms of form questions. So first type of question we have is multiple choice, and it's super easy. It's what you've seen all the time. You can add as many options as you like, or as little options as you like. Sorry, it is possible to do like a one option multiple choice question, which is for me silly, but there's people who do it anyway. So you're free to try it if you want. Let me make this a little bit larger. This looks nice. Okay, so also, which is really cool, it's not something you see in the test, but you can also add images to options. So you can click on the little image icon, and then you can find pictures. And then let me just pull up a picture. Yes, this is a picture of my cat. So that picture will be inserted into the form, and then you can wait till it loads. And then you can have like pictures. So you can, if you have people who don't write or read yet, you can still do forms with little icons and stuff. Okay, so this is, of course, multiple choice, so you can only choose one. Then we have checkboxes, and checkboxes is the same thing as multiple choice, with the difference that you can check more than one. Also, if you really want to get into the weeds, if we go over here in response validation, you can check if you can ask your students/victims to use more than one, or use as many options as you would like, or just leave it blank and just have them choose whatever they want. So you could like force them to select 2 or 3 or just 1 or whatever. But if you're gonna do just one with checkboxes, just go back to multiple choice. There's drop down, and this drop down is the same as multiple choice. The only difference is, let me show you the preview. When you do drop down will display a beautiful drop down list like this. So all you have to do is click on the drop down and just pick the option you want, and then you can only choose one option, same as when you get multiple choice. But it's different if it's a really long list. Maybe drop downs are easier for you. If you want to do like alphabetical order or something, I tend to use drop downs for huge things like lists of names or whatever. Then we also get short answer and long answer. So short answer text. I don't know the exact limit of how short the answer is, but let's say it's around 40 characters. And with 40 characters, you can pick up like words or whatever. You can use this for like fill in the blank type of stuff, but filling in the blank is messy, especially if you want it, if you later turn it into a quiz and you want it to check by itself, it has to be exact, or you have to type in all the choices. So it could be messy for you. Paragraph text, same as short answer. It's just you have lots of more space to write. So you will get people like going crazy and writing like crazy. So it is really fun. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot something that's brand new to Forms, and it just rolled out really, really recently, which is something that we've been clamoring and begging the people in Google to do for a long, long time. We finally have rich text in Forms. So like, for example, right now here, paragraph text, this is a sample. And if you want, of course, I have to write this correctly. If you want, you can select words and you can underline and bold and italicize and even put in links, which is insane. It's been ages since people wanted to be able to do this, and people used to cheat and do all sorts of weird stuff before, but now you can do it, and now it works, and it's beautiful. So yeah, let me be happy and excited for everybody, because it's been ages since I wanted to be able to do this, and it's now a reality. Okay, there's another one, and this one, when you download your copy of this form, it's gonna bug you because it's going to ask you to, it's gonna complain about something about a file folder being wrong, and it does. That's how it works. And because this form was originally made in our global GEG domain, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, because it's not gonna be able to let you to use that same folder. So what you do is you can have like a file upload option, and the people who are filling out the form can upload a thing. And here you can allow like specified file types. So if you want, they can only be documents or videos or whatever, or they can upload whatever you want. And then what you have to do is like use like how many files they want, how large the files can be, but that will eat into your Google Drive space. So if you're using a personal Google account, be aware that this is going to eat into your, like, it is going to eat into your space. If you're in a school domain, it's not that bad, but certain school domains like mine have been imposing limits and quota limits on teachers and students. So please bear that in mind, because it used to be that space was infinite, and now space on Google domains is limited. So yeah. Okay, so file upload, and you're going to get like a folder inside your Drive folder. In your Drive folder, you're gonna get a folder with all the different stuff that's been uploaded, and that's really nice. So next one, linear scale. A linear scale is super easy. You ask for something, you establish a minimum value and a maximum value, and you can edit this as much as you want. You could limit, how many. It goes from 1 to 10, and then you can like add like descriptors to the values, and whatever you do, so people get to choose just one. So if we look at it over here, they get like this little row of dots, and they just select the dot that they want. Same thing, we have a multiple choice grid. It's the same thing as multiple choice, but it's got like the same answers for everybody. So you type them up, and you have, like, you can see here, you have question 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can add as many as you want, but the answers will all be the same for all the questions. So you have to bear that in mind. If you have like, I don't know, my cat's going crazy. She's jumping all over the place. She's gonna attack. Okay. So you have to bear that in mind. It's a certain type of question. In the results, it's gonna be weird, but this is really practical for certain types of surveys, and it's really, especially when you have those surveys where you have like totally disagree sometimes, neither agree or disagree, and all that sort of thing. This is like the best tool you can use for that. You also have a tick box grid or a checkbox grid. It depends on your language settings in Google Drive. Mine is, for some reason, British English, because, as Abid would say, it is the better English. Actually, I have it because I use metric and not standard. So if I use British English, all my measurements will be in metric and not the weird stuff you guys use in the US. Tick box grid, same thing. And you can in the formatting, you can specify how many checkboxes they have to check in each column or in each row. So that's some of those things that you have to bear in mind when you're making this. There's also, I put them in and I don't know why they went in the wrong order. There's also a date function. So you can ask for specific dates. So if we go up here, it's going to ask me for a date, and like there's a calendar popping up, and you can actually use, like pick up like a date. So let's say my birthday, and then it'll submit the date, which is really cool. And you can do it in a way that it'll only ask for month and day and not the year, in case you're asking for just birthdays and not ages, because people, let's say it's because people are ageist, not because people don't want to admit their age. You choose. There's also a time function, and you can add in a time and it'll validate if you're putting in a correct time. Same thing with dates, since it uses like the calendar, you're not gonna have people who switch month with day, which always messes everybody up. So you're gonna get people like we've been discussing birthdays, and there's what is it? There's a form. We're talking in Twitter. We're talking about like a form that we display and we give out to people so that they fill out their birthday information. They get birthday cards from us automatically. If you're gonna get people who get their birthday cards on January the 7th and not on July the 1st, which is their real birthday, because they switched month and day. Because since that's also a non-standard, that's also insane. So it's one of the things that you have to bear in mind. If you just pick up like a normal calendar, it's so much easier, and you're not gonna have any issues with like flipped dates. So that is basically it. There's also other stuff you can add into a form that'll make it look better. So in this case, for example, you can add images, and you can just put up images because you want to. So if you want like a decoration or whatever, I put up a platypus because I love platypuses, or platypi, or however it is that you speak, that you say platypus. Then there's also, you can also put up YouTube videos. So yeah. So if you put up YouTube videos, you can also use like the video as a reference for something else. So it's really cool. Me personally, I only use I use Google video. I use YouTube videos to like get feedback, a la Edpuzzle, but like the simple version. And it's so much fun, and the kids will have fun. Especially, I always use YouTube videos, especially, but as long as there's like some educational content. So that's my educational integrator thought of the day. Please use YouTube videos for really important stuff. Okay, so that is basically Google Forms. And adding all this stuff is really easy. I'd recommend that you like, when you download this form, you can play around with it. You can fill it out for yourself. You can have all sorts of fun with it. Now, let's just fill it out so that, of course, the cat is the option. I'll just fill it out so that you guys can see what this looks like on the other end. And check boxes, and then drop down, and then answer. And then this would be longer answer. And this is not long enough for a paragraph, but let's suppose. English teachers, I'm sorry. File upload, I'm not going to upload a file. Well, I could upload a file. Let's upload a file. Upload. I'm going to pick something up. I have a picture in here somewhere.
Hey, don't forget to show the settings.
Oh yeah, I will. Let me do this first. I believe. Come on. I'll just add this. It's just so that people can see what it looks like in the results. Okay, linear scale. Let's give this an answer in each column. Let's give this 2 checks in each one. And then that's it. And then I submit. Okay, so I'm going to go for the results, and then I'm going to go for the settings. So the results. To see the results, all you have to do is you click here, and then up here at the top, you'll see these very, very important 3 sections. And then we have the responses sections right in the middle, and we have the settings sections, which Billy was kind enough to remind me at the end. But let's go for responses first. So here in responses, you're going to see all the responses that we had for now. So you'll get nice, beautiful pie charts for everything, which is really cool. So for example, this is the answer that I have. So I'm going to have like, it would color code all the answers that we have. Everything is nice and posted in beautiful like charts and stuff. What's really cool is you can copy this and then we can open up a new slide deck and we can paste it there, and you're gonna have like immediately a pasted you're gonna have your chart pasted into the slide deck like seamlessly. You don't have to work at it, you don't have to screen capture, you don't have to do anything weird like that. All you have to do is, I already copied it there, so all I have to do right here is paste. And when my computer decides that it's going to cooperate someday, hopefully today, come on, computer. Of course. Okay, let's do it again. Edit, paste. And then you can have it linked to the form, or you can have it unlinked. I recommend heartily to paste it linked, so that when you have like new information coming up, it's going to dynamically add everything there. So this is the sample of the checkboxes, and it works beautifully. And this is like the most impressive thing. You can tell people, look, I have this presentation, but it'll update itself automatically, and it will. So, you can be really impressive to all the people you're handing out like results for. Like, no, all you have to do is there's update all, and you update and everything's going to be updated, and you're going to have beautiful presentations with next to zero work, which is awesome, because computers are for lazy people like me, so that you work less and have beautiful results. So going back to the responses. Okay, so you have all types of responses. Also, if there were more than one, you would have like a summary, and you could select all the different responders. You could also see it by questions. So you could have like, it'll show you like the most popular results in every question. So if you have a quiz, you can tell which were the harder questions, the ones that they missed the most. And then you can see this individual by individual, but since there's only one person here, there's no way I can show you more. I could fill it out again, probably. Yeah, let's fill it out again. So I'm not going to choose the cat just to make it different. I think I didn't. Okay, some of these are forced, but some of them aren't. So let's just choose stuff and let's fill it out again. This isn't forced. This is forced. Yeah, there you go. So now I submit. Now I have 2 replies. Yay! So now I have 2 responses, so I can see responder number 1 and responder number 2. And if we go back to the summary, you'll see that the summary has changed because it's showing me all the options. And you see that the chart here changed. And if we go back to the slide deck, you see this beautiful update button. You just click it, and magically the form will automatically like fix itself. There you go. So we have a form, and it magically updated to what's up on the form, which is awesome. So if you have like surveys and stuff, this is the best tool ever. And that's it. That's basically all you need to know about making Google Forms and seeing the results. Now, important, the settings. So you have different settings, and you can have all these sorts of settings that are really helpful for different types of use cases for forms. The best, most used for teachers is a quiz. So you can possibly make like a multiple choice quiz, and it'll grade itself. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is click over here and make it a quiz. And then personally, I choose to turn the results later after manual review, just so kids don't get an automatic reply. And not that kids at my school cheat and they know what, if you give them if they have the correct answers, they'll give it to somebody else. No, that's not my kids. Those are kids some other schools that I've heard about, just not my kids. And but you can get all these things for like the different types of questions, how many point values you have for each question, which is really cool. If I give each question a default 1 point for each question. Also, really cool things, especially for schools that have like issued email addresses. If you choose here where it says collect email addresses, it'll automatically pull the kid's address and add it to the form. So you could like relate their address to whoever it is. So you don't even have to pick up a name if you don't have that. Or if you just want to have them type in their name anyway, you can do it that way. You can have them have a copy of the form they submit, which again is up to you. It's good if you want them to have like a copy of like a survey. It's not that good if you want the kids, if you're like doing a quiz, because they're gonna get a copy of the quiz, which, you know, it could be formative, it could be really thoughtful, but sometimes it's not good. I'm not saying that kids cheat. I'm not saying that kids cheat. I've just heard of kids that cheat. Yeah. Response editing is really cool, especially for not so much for forms, but not so much for quizzes, but for forms. If people update stuff, they get a link and they can go back and they can resubmit the form. There's also limiting to one response. This will only let a person fill out a form once. The issue I have with this is unless the person has a Google account, this won't really work. They have to have a Google account, be it Gmail or be it like their institutional account, or because it needs to log in to be able to pick up the email, to pick up the account. Size limits for the files, the presentation, all that. This is all stuff. It's really cool if you want to play around with it. You can show a progress bar if you have, because you can. Let's go back to the form. When you're editing forms, you can add like sections. So if, like, for example, I add a section here, when I redo the quiz, when I redo the form, you're going to notice that it's split into different pages. So it's going to show me everything by sections. So either if it's too long and you want to break it up into more manageable chunks, or if you want to like have them do like a bit at a time, you can do it that way. There's also really nice, but it's you have to set it up ahead. You can do like multiple choice stuff. So depending on what you choose at the bottom, it'll send you to different sections, but that is another video. It's way beyond the scope of level 1. So I don't really want to, get into the weeds on that because it's horrible. It's not horrible. It's really easy. It's just horrible to get into it right now. And then I have to do sheets and I'm still missing sheets. Okay. So that settings. Now, how do you send the form to people? That's really important, and that's really, I'm sure it's gonna be in the test. So there's a couple of ways you can send forms to people. So there's this big, beautiful purple button up here that shows you. There's this big, beautiful. Okay. The big, beautiful purple button is behind the Global GEG thingamabobs. Could we take it off? Let me see if I can take it off. Okay, I took it off. Okay, so this big, beautiful purple button that says send, when you hit that, it's going to give you 3 different choices. So it's going to give you a choice to email. So you could email this to whoever it is that you want to email. So let's suppose I'm going to email it to myself. So I could email the quiz and I could just send it and I'll get it via email. I could do it again. The easiest way is you could have a link to the form, and then if you're gonna like post it or if you're gonna share it out somewhere, I recommend you shorten the link so it's easier to manage, because or else it's gonna be a really long URL. You can take this, copy it, and paste it anywhere. So like, for example, right now, if I wanted, and it was so nice, if you guys want to fill out this form that we're doing right now, I just posted the link in the chat, so you could fill it out if you wanted to. There's also responses. Oh, there's also a beautiful one over here at the bottom. Where is it? There's one where you can give, here you go, a confirmation message. So it has your response has been recorded as a default. But if you want to be a cute teacher or whatever, you can say, thanks for filling out the form. Have a good day. That will be the one that's posted after they finish writing up the form. It'll do that, which is really nice. And this autosave, not for file upload questions. Okay. Google Forms, it used to be that Google Forms, once you were, it was the only Google Drive doc thing that it wouldn't save as you were filling it out. And it used to be that if you were like halfway through a quiz and let's say the lights went out or your computer rebooted or something, you would lose all the work that you already had done. So if you don't have a file upload question in it, which is normal for most quizzes, it will let you save your progress. So if something happens and the computer craps out or your browser crashes or whatever, you can reload the form and it'll like rewrite everything that was in there before, which is really nice. So in that case, that's something, or you can disable that if you don't want people to do that. So it's your choice. You can do either or. Let's go back to sending. There's also, you can embed it. So if you're file upload question, let me get rid of the file upload question just so I can show you how it works. Let's see, file upload. Here you go. Let's get away with the. Okay, if we get rid of file upload, then all this stuff is going to work. So we can embed it. So we can embed this within a Google site. So we could copy this form, copy this code, stick it into a Google site, and that's going to be really easy to use. Also, there's another way of doing this, which I forgot, which is the way that most people are going to use this anyway in a classroom. If you use Google Classroom, the easiest way of posting like a form in Google Classroom is you go to the classroom where your class is at, and all you have to do is, okay, yes, I know, this is quick and dirty. Okay, so you add classwork, and I create an assignment, and then in the assignment, okay, it's been a long while since I used this, so you can tell. In the assignment, I'm gonna hit my Google form, which should be right here at the top because it's the most recent thing I've been working on. Once it loads, if it loads, come on. Okay, here it is. All the types of questions, I'll just insert that. And then I just give it a title. Okay, and I assign it, and that's it. And it'll automatically track who's been posting and everything, which is so nice. Also, if it's a quiz, it will automatically import the grade of the quiz into Google Forms. So into Classroom, if you want. If we go back to this, let's show you guys how the quiz thing works. Since I made it a quiz, then all I have to do is here in the multiple choice, here at the bottom where it says answer key, super important. I click on answer key and then I choose the correct option. And then all of these are going to worth 1 point. So my cat is always the correct option. So I hit done. And then when you're editing, you can see that there's a little green check mark next to the correct answer. So it'll do that all the way and it'll add the points at the end and it'll give you a score. Again, there's another thing. I'm not saying that my kids do it again because my kids are perfect, but Google, this quiz feature is really cool. But if the student or the person who's filling it out looks at the page's code, you can tell what the correct answers are. And there are actually like Chrome extensions that people install onto their Chrome browser, and they'll be told which is the correct answer. So using the quiz feature is really cool, and it's really easy, and it's really simple for teachers to use. But there is that caveat of, I'm not saying that kids cheat, but kids sometimes cheat. Not my kids. My kids are perfect, all of them. So yeah. And that is a quick and dirty run through of Google Forms. Okay, so Google Forms is all nice and good, and then we're gonna do a nice brief. We're gonna go hit form. Not my students either, Dana. I know they're all perfect. Okay, so let's start with the boogeyman in the room. The boogeyman is Google Sheets, and for some forsaken reason, people really are afraid of spreadsheets. And same as before, I'm gonna give you guys this beautiful link, and the link is to a spreadsheet that I've made, which we're going to play around with. And yes, when I say play around with, I do mean it, because me personally, I believe that spreadsheets can be fun. So please bear with me. And I am going to show you guys like the basics of Google Sheets within the basics of Google Sheets. So we're gonna go and we're gonna do the same thing. I've given you guys access to a copy of this spreadsheet, which should be loading right now. And we're gonna mess with it in a second. Uh, but before we start messing with it, let me show you guys how to get into a brand new Google Sheet. So same as before, there's like several really easy ways of doing this. First, easiest way of all is as with everything with the Google Docs, which I love, is sheets.new. If you hit sheets.new, you'll automatically get a brand new, like beautiful, brand spanking new spreadsheet, which is all blank, which is like perfect. And this feature in and of itself is responsible for me having like 3 billion untitled spreadsheets in my Google Drive, because I just throw up a spreadsheet to like work out some quick math or work stuff out, and it'll always happen that I have like 1 billion untitled spreadsheet everywhere. So this is like the quick and dirty way, easiest way of getting into a spreadsheet is just typing sheet.new or sheets.new, and that's it. If you're in Google.com, then the second easiest way of getting into a spreadsheet is you hit the waffle menu and you search for sheets, and then here it is, nice green icon. You hit sheets, and same as with forms or with docs or with slides or whatever, you'll get templates for sheets. So they have nice templates all over the place. Beware, you do have to have, for some of these, you do have to have like a certain awareness of how Sheets works. So if you're one of those people who like shy away from spreadsheets and they go like a vampire, don't worry about it. Just don't think that all of this stuff is going to work for you all the time. Especially I had a teacher who did there's a teaching one in there somewhere, and she had something beautiful, but then she thought that she could copy paste stuff and it would work, and it didn't. But okay, if you hit here where it says blank, you're going to get a blank spreadsheet. It's going to work a charm. If you're in Google Drive because you're looking for stuff and you can't find it and you want a new spreadsheet from Google Drive, same as with forms, you hit the new button over here at the top left corner. And then after you hit the new button and the computer cooperates, if it ever cooperates, okay, you go and you hit here, it says Google Sheets, and same thing. If you hit on the little caret, you'll get a blank spreadsheet or from template, and you can choose whatever you want. So if you hit where it says blank spreadsheet, you're going to get a brand spanking new, beautiful spreadsheet. So all that done with, we're supposed to be able to get into a spreadsheet. So this is a spreadsheet that I've shared with you guys, which is so much fun and interesting. And in this case, I chose Star Wars characters. And these are Star Wars characters that are in a Jedi training school. And this is the character's name, their birth year. For those of you who are not Star Wars geeks, BBY means before the Battle of Yavin, which is the battle at the end of Star Wars A New Hope, just in case. And then and the gender, if they have a gender or if they don't have a gender. And then the home world that they come from and what species they are. And then these are grades that I made up for Jedi trials because they're doing testing. So, and this is stuff that we're going to use to get to know all the different things that we need to know how to use in Google Sheets. So, please, the first thing I like to tell people about Google Sheets is please don't be afraid of Google Sheets. They're not really scary unless you're like deathly afraid of calculators, because all Sheets is a calculator. So each and every single one of these cells, which every box is called a cell, just so we can get into like naming stuff. Each one of these boxes is a cell, and each cell has an address. And the address is super easy because all the address is you see all your columns, you see all your columns here. So this is like column L, and you have all your rows over here. So this is like row 6. And every cell in the spreadsheet has a name, and the name is the column and the cell. So this case, for example, Luke Skywalker is cell A2. So you can see it's like column A, row 2. And everything has that name. So it's super easy to use. It's super like, I know people are afraid of spreadsheets, especially since they went to college and they like saw, I don't know, they had like some business administration stuff or like basic business stuff, and they got into Excel or spreadsheets or whatever, and they just freaked out. Don't worry about it. spreadsheets are like a lot easier than you think. So just to get started on like the really basic stuff for spreadsheets. Spreadsheets is really nice. And right now, this all looks very boring because it's all the same and it's all got the same colors. It's all got the same thing. So if you want to select stuff, there's a couple of ways. First is you click and drag. So I can click and drag everything like this. Or you can click like a whole, if you click the column, you can click the whole column. If you click here on top where it's the column, or the same thing with the spread with the row, you can click on rows. If you hit shift and then click on a row down here, you'll hit like a range of rows, which is really cool. Or if you want to select everything, this top left corner, you click on it and it'll select everything. And it's the same with all other Google Drive products. You can change everything everywhere in the same place. So if we want to change better fonts, so for example, I love like Sandeca because it's a lot easier to read. Let's make stuff a little bit larger so that people are a bit more comfy. And okay, so let's start with the easy stuff. And the easy stuff is one of the things that I'm gonna ask you to do is formatting. So formatting is making things look pretty. So don't worry about it. It's not hard. And there's like a couple of different ways of making things look pretty. And then there's the long and tortuous way, which is you pick like a row, and then here there's a little paint bucket. And if you want to fill that out in a color, you'll just choose the color you want. And then same as with like everything else, you can bold, you can italicize, you can strike through, you can everything. You can even change the colors of the lettering and all of that. And that's all good and that's all beautiful. But spreadsheets are for lazy people because we don't like doing math in our head. And sheets is really cool because it does stuff for us. So if you select all this, wait, not all this, wait. So if we select at the beginning and we select all the data that's there and we hit here where it says format, and this is stuff that's gonna appear somewhere, maybe on the quiz, and you do format, and then here you go where it says alternating colors, then you'll have this beautiful styles thing that appears next to you, and then you can pick which colors you want. So let's say I love blue or green or orange or yellow or whatever. I choose it like this and it's hit done, and now it looks so much prettier. And now it looks better. Not good, but better. Okay, and then there's another one that's gonna pop up probably. I'm sure it pops up in level 2, but in level 1, I've heard of it sometimes popping up, which is conditional formatting. And conditional formatting sounds super complicated and it freaks people out, but it's like super nice to use. Now, you will see that every time we do something in the spreadsheet, the numbers change, and that is very much on purpose because the numbers are random. And it's done that way. I do it with my kids like this so that they don't, so that they do things the correct way. And because if I ask them to like add stuff, they're gonna be able to like add it one by one. And I don't want it to add them one by one. I'll show you in a second how I want people to add stuff. But then, for example, if I'm a teacher and I want to see how many kids are failing or passing, whatever, the easiest way of doing is if you want to, let's say everybody passes above a 70 and fails below a 70. If we want to see that really easily, if we want to do it by hand, it's really complicated because you'd have to go like literally number by number and see who's doing what. So for example, Luke Skywalker is basically failing everything except for the Jedi trial number 5. And that's horrible for him. But it's really even more horrible for the teacher because as a teacher, you can't really tell which grades are passing and which grades are failing. So the easy way of doing this is I select all of the grades for all of the trials. Come on. There's 100 or so students, so it's gonna be okay. So I select all of them for all of the trials, and then I go back to format, and then I hit where it says conditional formatting. Now, please don't be afraid because it's super easy. It's just that it appears pretty scary. You hit where it says conditional formatting, and then flyout will pop up over here. And then right now, there's like a couple of things. First, the range, and it's gonna show me what range this is applying to, which means it's going to go from F2 to K88, which is all the students, which is exactly what I selected. And then this is the rule. And then the rule is, what do I want it to do automatically? So right now is if it's not empty, and I don't want if it's not empty. I want to figure out which of my students are failing. So what I do here is instead of it's not empty, I pick down from the drop down. And then, for example, this is all numbers. So I want less than or equal to. So passing grade is 70. So I want everything that is less than 70. So I'll hit here where it says less than, and then I'll give it a value. I'm going to say 70. And since if it's below 70, they're failing, I'm going to color it in red. So right now, automatically, no work at all. The computer's doing all the work for you. You can see that lots of people are failing, which is indicative that they're either not old enough to be Jedis or that the teacher is really, really rough on them. So we don't know. So this is really easy. Conditional formatting is really scary for some people, but as you can see, it's like super easy. So that's it. Conditional formatting, done. And it's super easy. And you can tell at a glance that the kids are really, really having a rough time. Now, let's go into, what's the next one I was talking about? Okay, so we did formatting. Okay, let's do math operators. Math operators are really not hard, and it's super easy as long as you get how everything works. Now, every time that you are going to, let me make this larger so it's like really, really obvious. Let's make this super big. Okay, so that's a bit too big, but it's better. Okay, so right now, every time I want one of these cells to calculate anything, because I want it to work as a calculator, all I have to do is, the first thing I have to do is I want to start with the equal sign. So I start with the equal sign, and when Sheets sees the equal sign, it means that it's going to do some work. So if I want to add stuff, all I have to do is tell it what I want it to add. So right now, let's do like normal addition. So 2 plus 3. So if I hit 2 plus 3 and I hit enter, it's going to calculate. It's going to throw up a 5, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay. If you want to subtract, same deal. You go equals and then 5 minus 2, and you're going to get 3. If you want to multiply, it's not x. Oops, sorry. It's not x. Multiplication is 2 times, and times is the asterisk. 2 times 5, and you're going to get 10. And if we want to divide, it's not the division symbol, which it doesn't exist on keyboard, in case you don't know. And then division is, let's go 18, and then it's backslash divided by 2, and we're going to get 9. So if you want to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, so the operators are plus, minus, oops, plus. I don't want the formula, dum-dum. Okay, plus. There we go. And then minus. And then multiplication and division. Okay, so those are the operands for the basic math functions, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It's plus, minus, asterisk, and backslash. So it's really easy. Okay, but this isn't the stuff that's like the super easy stuff that we expected to do. Now, if we, now the really cool thing about Sheets, which is what you have to bear in mind, is since every cell has an address, you can actually refer to the contents of a cell from another cell. So for example, if I want here, I want to have exact same thing that there is in this cell over here. So all I have to do is hit equal and then click on what I want it to be equal to. So I want it to be equal to that. And it'll add right here. It'll add the, and I'm pointing at the screen like you could see my finger, which is really fun. You can add, and you can see that it added N2, which is this cell. And then when I hit enter, it's going to bring the information from N2 over here, which is really cool. Okay. So if I change this addition to addition with a capital letter, it'll also change at the bottom because I had it change, which is really interesting and really easy. Now, the really cool thing about this is if instead of like words, I use numbers, that means I can do equals, and then I can do this, and I'm going to get the number 5. But if I do 5 and then I want to add something, I'm going to add this one, then all I have to do is add the addresses of the cells, and it's going to pull in the information from both, and then I'm going to have the answer, which is, 5 plus 10 is 15. If you want to know exactly what it's doing, when we edit it, you'll notice that M2 is light orange, and you have an orange dotted line around the one, and then M4 is like a purple, and the purple is going to be dotted around the other one, so you can tell what's going on, which is really cool. So that way you can add variables, and it's so much fun, and it's so much easier to use when you do it that way. Now, this is why when I'm doing work with my kids, I have these numbers that change by themselves because they're random, and every time I do a change to the sheet, it changes. That's so that when I have kids add 5 plus 3, I don't add 5 plus 10. I had them add the stuff on M2 and the stuff on M4, so I know they're doing the addresses for the cells correctly. Because if this number changes from 5 to something else, like 10, like 12, it should automatically also fix the addition. If they do it wrong, it'll just keep being 5 plus 3, so it doesn't work. Okay. So this is like basic addition, multiplication, subtraction, division. Now, the other things that that are going to pop up in the test is basic sheet functions, which are also super useful for teachers. So let me zoom out a bit. Come on, zoom out. Okay. Now, the basic features that we're going to be able to use for our basic functions that everybody has to use sometime in spreadsheets, and it freaks people out, but they're actually very easy to use. So we're going to do a couple of functions, which is average. Well, let's do something easier first. Let's do a sum. And then we're going to do averages. And then we're going to do minimum and maximum. Okay, now, please don't freak out. It's super easy to use. And also, there are 88 students. And then you're going to tell me, but Luis, am I going to do this 88 times? And I say, no, you're not going to do it 88 times, because Sheets, like me, is lazy, and it helps you be lazy. So the easiest way of adding these numbers is to use the sum function. And how do you use the sum function? Now, I'm going to show you the long way to do it, and then I'm going to show you the lazy way to do it. The long way to do it is you hit equals, and then you write up sum, and then you open a parentheses, and then you choose what it is that you wanted to add. And it's very smart, and it predicts what you wanted to do beforehand. So it's going to be really easy. So all I have to do is type up sum and then F2 colon K2 and just hit enter, and it'll show me the sum of that. Now, here is where the beauty of Sheets being for lazy people works. It'll suggest to me what it says right there. Hey, you have that formula, but you have a whole bunch of rows below it. Do you want to be lazy and auto do the formula for everyone? And then if you're lazy, like me, you're going to hit yes. And it'll automatically make a copy of that formula for the whole table. So you only have to do it once and say, copy it over. If for some reason you are a person who is a bit fast on their fingers and they forgot to do that, then you can either do it like the super long way, which is do it again, which no, please don't. You can do it the sort of long way, which is you hit here. You can see. Let me make this bigger so you can see this. In the corner, in the corner of the cell, when you select the cell, there's like a little square, and that square is called, actually has a name. I found out recently. It's called the fill handle, and it's called the fill handle because it helps you be lazy and fill stuff out. So all you have to do is click on it and drag it down. And when you drag it down, it'll automatically fill out the formula for all the cells that you clicked it down to. But if you want to be even lazier, if you double click on it, it'll pull it down until the last row where there is information. So if I double click right here, like now, it'll do it for all the way down to all the 87 students, which is super easy, and it's really cool for teachers because, come on, we have to save time somewhere. And that's sum. Now, if you forgot the formula, if you forgot the name of the function, there's always, and let me make this smaller again because it disappears. There is always this beautiful button over here, which is the functions button. And when you hit the functions button, you're going to see like the most popular functions that people use. And these are like the most popular functions that people use in Sheets anyway. Sure, I'm gonna get the sum. This is the laziest way of getting sums, Tiffany, so don't worry. So if you forgot how to do the sum, let's erase all of them just to be like super lazy. If you forget how to do sums, you don't have to know the names of all the functions, or you don't have to know how to type it up. Like you can forget like numbers of stuff. Like for example, minimum and maximum, they don't work that way. They work another way. So don't worry about it. We're on it. So if you forget how the function works, you click on the cell where you want it to appear, and then you go to the functions button. You click over here, and then here, look, for example, we want the sum. So let's hit sum, and then it'll automatically fill it out. And all I have to do is with the mouse, you click and drag to all the stuff that you wanted to add. So for example, I just highlighted this over here. I hit enter, and the sum is already added. And then since I'm lazy, because come on, then you hit the check mark, and then boop, you get the sum for everything. Super easy. So same thing goes for averages. Averages is something that we as teachers use like daily, or at least once per term, because we need to know how our kids did. So same thing. You go to the functions. You don't even have to know it. You hit where it says average, and then same thing. We select where we want it to get an average from. So we click from Jedi Trial 1 to Jedi Trial 6. And then we hit, and it already, look, if you look at the top, it already gives you a preview of what the result is going to be. So in this case, it's going to be 72.833333. And it's going to change because every time we hit enter, it's going to redo all the numbers, because you see all the numbers change every time because I'm evil. And then you ought to hit the formula, and it'll do it automatically. Now, this is for your guys' peace of mind. If these are too many decimal points, all you have to do is you select the whole column, and then there's this beautiful decrease decimal places button, which is like a little decimal 0, and you just hit it, and then you can hit it as many times as you want to get as many decimals as you want. So in this case, for me, 2 is more than enough. And then there we go. Same. There's also the function that's for minimum, and the minimum function will find all the values, and it will give you the minimum for the values that you chose. So we go to the functions menu again. We hit min, which is the function for minimum, and we do the same thing. We pick from Jedi Trial 1 to Jedi Trial 6. We hit enter, and we get minimum yet again. Super easy, painless. It's really easy to do. Maximum, same thing. Instead of min, it's max. So we hit max. We select from Jedi Trial 1 to Jedi Trial 6, and we hit enter again. We're lazy again, and it'll find all the maximums of all the kids. So we have that, which is really cool. Same thing. If you want to do it like at the bottom, if you want to be like the averages for all the tests, for example, for all the trials. So, before we do that, this I don't think this is covered on the test, but it's really nice to have. If you want to freeze a row, you can like stand here, and then you can go to view, and then you can freeze one row, and it'll freeze it for you. So if you scroll down, you'll always have the top row first. But there is a lazier way of doing it. If you see, there's these lines over here are a little thicker. This is the freeze line. So if you pull down, you can pull down the freeze line as much as you want. So I can freeze like the first 3, and it'll freeze the first 3. Or if I pull it up, I can just freeze the first row. And then I normally freeze the first row, and I also freeze the first column. So I'll always have like the names. Even if I scroll around, I'll always have the names in there, which is really interesting. So if I scroll down to the bottom, same thing. If I want the average of each Jedi trial, same thing. I'll go hit average, and then I'll just select from here on up. I'll hit enter, and it'll show me the average of this test. And then, of course, it's going to be like way too many decimal places. And same thing. And since we're lazy, fill handle works here beautifully. So you can also pull it to the side and it'll show you all the averages of all the tests without much work, which is really, really nice. And it's like, it helps you a whole lot because you only basically have to put in the formula once, which is super nice. Let's see. So we have done so far, we've created sheets, we've done math operators, we've done formatting, we've done simple functions, which is basically the functions we're going to be we're going to be messing with. And we have to sort data, which is the other thing that's normally like included in the test. So sorting data sounds a lot more complex than it actually is. And there are like a couple of ways of sorting data. And if you've used spreadsheets for like forever, this has changed a few times. So you have to be a bit patient with it. So for example, if I want to sort stuff by name, now, please bear with me because there's like, they have like 4 different ways of doing it. I'm not going to get into the mess that is filters because 1, it's not covered in the level 1 exam. And 2, because it's a pain in the neck if you don't know what you're doing. And it's better if you don't like touch it. So first, I'm going to select all the data that I have. And in real life, all I need is just until the Jedi trials, because since everything else is calculated, you don't really need to mess with it. So I'll select all the data with all the kids' names. Well, sorry, not kids, students. I'll select all the students' names. Okay. And their test results. So right now, if I want to make this in alphabetical order, then I go to data and then sort range. And now there's 3 options there. There's sort range by column A, and it'll default to column A because it's the first column that I have selected. So since I started selecting here from the first column, which is column A, it'll default to sorting range from column A. And now it's giving me 2 choices. We either sort it in alphabetical order or we sort it in reverse alphabetical order. So if we hit column A, it'll redo everything. So we get Admiral Akbar and Adi Gallia and Anakin Skywalker, all of that. And it did like pull everything. So everything is in order again, just that we have it in alphabetical order. If we do it again, data, sort range, and then sort range by column and in reverse alphabetical order, we're going to get it, of course, in reverse alphabetical order. So we have Zam Wessel, who I don't know who that is, but then Yoda's second, which I do know who that is. So yeah, really easy. Now, if you want to sort all that same information, but with different, but not by the first column, but by the second or the third or whatever, then it works differently. And you have to be a little patient. And I do recommend that you poke around with this so you get familiar with it, because it seems daunting, but really, it really isn't. So what you have to do is you want to select it by, if you want to like sort it not by the column, but by something else. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. Well, there's the easy way and there's the complicated way. I'm going to show you the easy way and then I'm going to tell you about the complicated way. The easy way is we select all the information starting from the first row. I know the first row is like the titles, but I'm doing this on purpose. So I select all the information starting from the first row. And then when it's all selected, okay, I selected all the information from the first row. I'm going to go to data again. And then I'm going to sort range. And then I'm going to use the advanced range sorting options. Now, the word advanced freaks people out, but don't worry because it's going to be really simple and easy to use. So we go to advanced. Now, here is where it's important to have chosen the title rows. Notice that the first thing it does is there's a checkbox. The data has a header row. Since we did choose the first row, which is where all the headers are, we click on it. And now you'll see that it offers to sort by name or by birth year or by gender or by homeworld or by species or by whatever. So I'm gonna do it first by species, and then I'm gonna add another sorting column, and then I'm gonna have him do it by homeworld. And then if we have people who are from the same species and from the same homeworld, and we want them, we'll do it. The other one, we'll do their names in alphabetical order. And the same thing, this is either normal order or reverse order. It's either numbers or letters. Same applies to everything. So we hit here where it says sort. There we have, it's sorted by species. So we have all the Alinas first. I don't know what an Alina is. Then we have Basilisks, Syrians, Chagrin, Cloudite, droids, then Dug, then Ewok, then Geonosians, then Gungans, then humans, and so on and so forth. And then if we have more than one, see that the humans are sorted by homeworld. Then we have from Alderaan, and then we have them by their name. So we have Bail and Leia are from Alderaan, which actually Leia wasn't born in Alderaan, but that's like geeky stuff that I know. And that is sorting information. It's really easy. I gave you this beautiful spreadsheet. I'm going to show you another thing. Okay, now what would have happened if you had only selected like without the header rows? You're going to have to do it without the header rows, so you have to know which columns you wanted. So it would be column A or B or C or D. So please use the header rows. It just makes everybody's life easier. And I do know that I've been messing around with this a lot. So if you just like click on the download link and make your copy of the sheet, you're going to get like the sheet with all the mess in it. There, I've hidden the original data somewhere. So I had all the original data here. If you hit where it says original, it's going to show you like the data when I just made it. So you can revive it or not if you want. You can also you can go back in the file history and you can take everything back, which is going to be easy. Other simple sheet stuff that you're expected to know is the same with Google Docs and everything else. Sharing is just the same as Google Docs. If you don't know how to share, you pick on the share button, then you add people. So I'm going to add Pili. Not Pilar Toro, Pilar Charles. So I'm adding Pili, and then I'm sharing it with Pili. I can choose for Pili to be an editor, a viewer, a commenter. And if you didn't know, you can not only can you choose to make somebody editor. If I wanted to, I could make Pili the owner. So I'd no longer be the owner of the file. So you could transfer the ownership and just give it to her. Or if Pili did something and she messed up my file, I can always remove access. So I could go click, and then Pili can no longer mess around with it, which is interesting. Let's just give it back to Pili so she doesn't get mad at me. That's sharing. Sharing and sending, same thing. Really other simple stuff. And this is cool stuff for as a teacher. And this works for all Google Drive files. Your teacher's best friend is the version history. So if we look at the version history, you can see what's been done and who did it. So if you share this file with several students, or students are working as a group, you can like go back in time and know what happened. So like, for example, I did this last night really late. And then today, this is all that I've been doing today. And it's time stamped exactly to what time everything started. So you could go back in time and see what happened. And if you have several students editing this file at the same time, you are going to be able to see, who did what. And I'm not saying that kids do stuff that they shouldn't, but you can pick out who did what when somebody did something. So yeah. If I don't stop talking about sheets, I'm going to keep going on and on and on and on and on, and it's going to be horrible. So that, my friends, is as much as we talk about Google Sheets. Please play around. If you find me on Twitter, you guys can see whatever it is that I'm doing, and then we can all have fun. And if you have any questions, please shout out at me at Twitter. I'm normally quite a nice guy, and I try and oops, bonus. This is bonus sheet stuffery. Sorry, I almost forgot this. I had it set up and I forgot about it. Okay, if there's something that you guys don't know how to do in Google Sheets, like adding a chart or something like that, it's super easy, but there's a way to cheat at it. And since it's there, it's not really cheating. There's the beautiful Explore button. And the beautiful Explore button is everybody's best friend. So if you click on the beautiful Explore button, it's going to get all the data that's there. And I hit where it says Explore. And then it's going to suggest stuff. And it's like the best thing ever. Because if you hit the Explore button, there's too many people connected to the sheet, so it's slow. If you hit the explore button, come on, you can do it. Come on. Let's be patient.
There it is.
Okay.
It's green now.
It's coming. It's taking a while, but it's coming. Come on, come on. Oh. You know, this always happens when you're trying to demo stuff and you forget. Come on. Explore. Okay. So
There it
out
is.
pops the explore. Out pops the explore flyout, and the explore flyout is awesome because if you don't know how to do a pivot table, I don't know how to do pivot tables. It'll suggest pivot tables. So, like for example, this is a pivot table sorted according to gender, which I didn't know there were so many genders in Star Wars. And then there you go. If you click on it, it'll insert the pivot table. If you want a histogram of the counts of gender, so all you have to do is, like, for example, let's insert the histogram. You click on it and it'll automatically like pull it in. And it's so much work you don't do. It's awesome. Come on.
That is very cool.
And boom, there you go. You have a brand new form and it's awesome. And you have a brand new chart and it's awesome. And all you have to do is like pull it out from the explore menu. And it's
Hey, Luis, what if I don't want it in the middle of my data? Where can I send it to?
Oh, you can also send this. You have over here. If you right click on it, you can make it. No, you can't. You can't? I thought you could. Or was it here?
Three dots.
Oh, yeah, on the 3 dots, you can move it to its own sheet. So it'll take up space in a brand new sheet, and it's got just the chart, and you don't have to mess with it anymore, and it's not going to be here with your data. So it's like on the side. And same applies here. If you copy the form, if you copy the chart and you paste it in slides and it changes here, it's going to change in slides too, which is awesome.
That is correct.
This is why Luis is going to be so good at this new job.
Oh, it's That's why I made the job for myself, which is fun.
Data management is your thing, man.
It's always been my Achilles heel, but you always make me feel so much better every time I look at it with you. It just it's not hard. It's just, people have to be patient and not be afraid of it, which is the best part. Yep. And it's something I don't use all the time and I want to use it more. So you encourage me.
Hey, the answer is always a spreadsheet. Any issues I have everywhere, I'll throw a spreadsheet in there somewhere.
Stuart earlier, he said, the answer is a spreadsheet as long as it is not a site.
Oh yeah. No, don't let's not speak of it.
We will though later on, right?
Oh, of course.
All right. Thank you so much for that overview of all forms and sheets. It was amazing. So much information.
Yes, a lot. So that's why we have it on the video. You can go back. You can play it at half speed if I'm going too fast. I know I go too fast, but we've already spent the better part of an hour in just 2 things. And so I want to, move ahead.
Yes. Thank you so much. So the next thing that we're going to see is Judy, right, Judy?
Yeah, I'm going to show some Google Classroom stuff.
Yeah,
but I want to ask you another question.
Go ahead.
How was the sun reviewed on Google?
How is the what? The sun?
How is the sun reviewed on Google?
How is the sun reviewed on Google? Okay, you got me. I don't know.
1 star.
Reviewed as in, okay, I got it now. I was wondering, reviewed how? I use the word 1 star. Oh, poor son.
Oh, man.
Hi, Stephanie. She's joining today.
Don't forget, guys, take a selfie and post it on Twitter. I mean,
true.
Yeah, take a selfie of yourself and share it with us on Twitter. Hashtag Global GEG. It'll be
tag it at Global GG or use the hashtag Bootcamp22.
Yes, perfect.
Although I saw on Twitter that somebody else is using that hashtag, so just tag us and that will be fine. was this other thing being used for Bootcamp 22.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Mr. Mark Hefner says, need to make a Google site with all these jokes.
Oh my God. It's fun. Anyway.
Tara's like loving the jokes. Thank you guys for staying and keeping with us. So, Judy's going to show us a whole bunch of stuff about Classroom, right, Judy?
Yes. I love Classroom,
Classroom
and I think it's really cool
is
to
my
share at the end.
best friend. Yes.
Yeah.
Classroom is my best friend. I think that of all the tools of Google, like whenever people say like, "What's your favorite tool?" and people are like slides or forms, I'm like, I think Classroom is the one I like the most. It's what lets me um, put everything out there, grade. Um, it let so many things. So I'm gonna let you show us if you're ready.
Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Ha, double. Here we
So
go.
for those that don't know me, I am Judy Keller, and I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I am a GEG Global Leader, a certified Google trainer, and level 1, level 2, and also an applied digital skills ambassador. So let's get into Google Classroom. So I'm going to share the slides, but I'm also going to show you how to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a classroom. And there's multiple ways to create a classroom. So first of all, we need to get to Classroom. So just like Lewis was showing earlier, you can go to the waffle and you can find Classroom here. Or you could also go to Classroom with .google.com. So we're going to go there. And that's going to take me, that's going to open up my classrooms that I have. And once I get in here, to create a new classroom, I would just go up here to the plus and create a class. Or if I was joining a class as a student, I would click the join button. But let's just create a class. Let's call it Bootcamp. And then here I could put in a section, I could create a subject or a room number, but the only thing that's required here is the class name. So I'm going to create that Bootcamp class, and you're going to see that it's going to probably take us a second, and especially since I'm streaming, it's going to take a little longer than normal, and it's going to create the class for me. So once it creates the class, then it's going to appear in my slides here. So these are my different slides. So let me go back there. These are my different slides for each class that I have. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up my classroom. And inside my class, you're going to see, first it takes me to the stream by default. The stream is somewhere where you can provide announcements for your students. You could have conversations with your students here. And the important thing to know is there are stream settings. So if you don't want, I deal with a lot of elementary schools and elementary teachers. And as soon as a teacher starts a classroom, the first thing the kids do is they start talking back and forth and giggling back and forth. And so a lot of times my elementary teachers turn off some of the stream settings at the beginning until she can get the students ready to the point that they can actually use the stream. So right here now, there are no settings set up. It's the default settings. So I can go here to the stream settings. And then this is where I can make changes. So right here where the stream default is students can post and comment. So a lot of times my teachers will turn that to only teachers can post and comment, or students can only comment. So this is where you would make that change. Also, every time you post something in the classroom, it'll show up in the stream automatically by default as a condensed notification. And so you can also change that to show attachments and details or hide those notifications. Now, this is something that if I have students can post and comment, I always turn this on to show deleted items. So only the teachers would be able to see that. But just in case a student would happen to post something that was inappropriate for the class, you as a teacher can delete that, and then you can still view that. So in case you need that for some sort of, you need to talk or share with the principal, you can do that. And something else that's automatically turned on are guardian summaries. Guardian summaries are something that parents can sign up for, and they can get a summary of their students' work within the classroom. And so if you go right here, you can see what an example of what those summaries look like. So your parents can get summaries from their students' work for each week. And they can sign up for daily or weekly. I forget what other options there are. It'll show missing work, upcoming work, and the class activities. So any announcements that you're putting into the stream would also show up on the summary. So let's go back. Let's get out of the class settings for stream. And let's discard them. All right. So we want to talk about the 4 different tabs. So there's stream, there's classwork, there's people, and there's grades. So to add people, if I wanted to add students to my class and I'm meeting with them in person or even online, I could add them manually, which is a lot of work. So just like Louise said earlier, I'm lazy. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to give the students a code to join the class. So all I have to do is give them this code, and I can display that here by hitting this box and make it larger or even larger so that those students can easily see the code and join my class. The other thing that you can do is when I hit that display, did you see here's a copy invite link? So I can copy that invite link and then I can email that to someone to join my class as well. So let's go into the classwork side. Actually, let's go back here to the stream because I want to show you something else. So at the top, do you see where my header is? So it automatically gives you a header, and a lot of times it bases it on the name of the class that you make. But you can customize that header. So if you click on customize, maybe personally, I like a pink or purple theme. So I'm going to change it to a purple theme. And then I'm going to upload a photo. I could select. So if I select, there are multiple ones that are already here under different categories that are made for different subjects, for arts, for sports, and then for other things. But I want to upload my own. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to upload a photo. And I made an image that is on my computer. And I actually made it on Canva. So if you haven't used Canva, or if you do use Canva, you can make headers in Canva for Google Classroom. So it's going to put this header here. And then I need to kind of crop it so that people can see what I want them to see in my header. And now I'm going to select that theme. And what it's going to do is it's automatically going to update the header in my Google Classroom. And then I'm going to save it. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So that's how you can save your header or upload your header, customize your classroom just a little bit. So let's now go into the classwork tab. So in the classwork tab, we're going to create an assignment. So to hit the create button, and I have different options here. So I create an assignment. I also use Kami. So if I am using Kami and I have the paid version, not the free version, you could insert a Kami assignment. You can insert a quiz assignment, a question. So you could just ask a question. Or if you want to provide material, or maybe it's like a link to a YouTube. And even better, once you have various classrooms, you can do reuse a post. But I'm going to create an assignment right now. And to create that assignment, I have to give it a title. And then I can add anything I want to add, maybe from my Google Drive. So let's see. If I want to add something from my Google Drive, I would just click here, and then I could insert something that's in my Google Drive. So maybe I want to add this question and answer document. All I have to do is insert that. So now, if you notice right here next to that document, it says students can view the file. That is the default. If I assign this now, the students will only be able to view it. They won't be able to do anything to it. I have other options. If I click on the down arrow, I have the options that students can edit the file. If I select students can edit the file, all the students can edit the same file. So that means they're all going to be working on the same document at the same time. If that's not what you want to make a copy for each student. So when you make a copy for each student, they each get a copy of this question and answer document. In the instructions, I would put in here any instructions that I would normally tell my students to do. So it's not required, it's optional. And you also have the ability to bold the text, italicize it, underline it, bullet it, or strike it or remove the formatting. So these are all options in the instructions. Now, over to the right, I want to assign it to all my students. Well, I don't have any students yet, so I will show you in another classroom how we can select various students. But I'm going to give this points, but I'm going to make it 10 points instead of 100, or I could make it ungraded. Now, the next thing here is the due date. So I need to add a due date. I don't have to add a due date, but if the due date is not in here, it's not going to show up on the parent summary. So I want to add a due date. And when I look at this, I'm going to add a due date of let's see, the 25th. Now the time is optional, but I want to tell you that if you don't select the time, it's going to default at midnight. I personally don't want students to be finishing their work at midnight. So I'm going to create a time of 8:30 p.m. So they know that it has to be done on the 21st or the 25th at 8:30 p.m. Now, I don't have any topics in this class, so I'm going to create one. And I'm going to call this English. Now, the other thing is I'm going to have the students do something in this document and maybe they're going to be doing some research. I can click check plagiarism. So by checking plagiarism, it's going to go out and it's going to turn on originality reports. Now, this is not available to all schools, so your school may not have this ability. It is available for Google Workspace for Education Plus. And what it does is it will go out and it will look for the originality. This is where I would check that. Now, because I am not in a plus, I have 5 assignments of originality originality reports. So if you don't have Google Education Plus, you do have the ability to use this 5 times. And then all I have to do is assign it up here. But if I don't want to assign it right away, so maybe I want this to appear in their classroom this coming Monday, I can schedule it. So I can select schedule. And I can select a time to schedule it for. So it's already selected Monday for me. And maybe this class is only coming in at 10 a.m. I can change this to 10 a.m. so they're not getting ahead of anything. So then I can simply schedule that. And as I schedule that, it's going to appear in my classroom and you can see that it's grayed out. So when it's grayed out, that means that the students cannot see it yet because it is grayed out. And it shows me here when it's scheduled to appear. Now, in Google Classroom, at the top, you have Google Calendar and you have a class drive folder. So in Google Calendar, what's going to appear is your due date that you just created will appear in here. Now, I'm not sure that it's going to appear yet because it's a draft. So let's see what happens. So it's not appearing yet. But it will appear in here once it is assigned in my classroom. So here's my Bootcamp class. I'm going to turn my other ones off and we're just going to look at that. So let me go back to the class and let's say I want to edit this assignment. I can go into the 3 dots here and maybe I can't. I got to go here, 3 dots here. And I'm going to edit this assignment. And so now instead of scheduling it, I'm going to go ahead oh, it's still scheduled. Okay. Edit. So instead of scheduling it here, I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to assign it right now. Well, it's not letting me do that. Okay, well, let's do another assignment. Let's get out of that. And let's just create another assignment. And I'm going to do this in a different class. So I want to go into another class that I had set up here. And I'm going to create an assignment in here. So I'm going to create the assignment. And instead of this time adding from my Google Drive, I'm going to create. So I'm going to click on create. And now I can create a document right here. So if I don't have one already set up, I can create it right here. So this is a new document and I'm going to give it a name. As soon as it loads. All right, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to name this Bootcamp. Oh, and I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss this. And now I have created this document. So if I go back into my classroom, it's going to update this once I assign it anyway. So I'm going to make a copy for each student. Go over here. I'm going to make it worth 100 points. Let's say create a topic. I'm not going to give it a topic. But up here at the student side, all students. I don't have any students in it. Hang on one more second. Anyway, let me go ahead and assign this. And this is making a copy for each student. And you're going to see that this is no longer in gray. This is actually live and it's posted. Now, did I give it a due date? I don't think I did. So let's go back and edit it. And let's give it a due date. And again, let's select date and a time. And we're going to save it. And you see how this document changed to Bootcamp, and each student gets a copy. So now if I go to my Google Calendar, and this is my test class. So if I look at my test class, this should now appear on the calendar for the classroom. So this appears on my calendar as a teacher, but it also appears on the student's calendar. So they have no reason to say, I didn't know about it, because it's on your calendar. So right here it is on my calendar, and I need to turn it in then. Not only that, but if I go back to my stream, it's also posted in the stream. So remember I said about it posts as a digest? It's posted as a digest right here. So we've added a document and we're ready to go. So the other thing you can do in the stream is you can put an announcement in here for your students. So if I want to announce something like, don't forget your field trip form tomorrow. And I can just post this. And again, here, not only post it, I can also schedule that, or I can save it as a draft. So maybe I want to add the form to it and I don't have it done yet. I can save this as a draft, and then I can come back in, and up here is the saved announcement. So I'm going to click the down arrow, and then I can go back into it, and I could add the form to it and then post it. And then it's going to appear live on this.
It seems like we're having a bit of a problem, isn't it?
I believe we have a frozen Judy.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. She was going great. I just wanted to show something because somebody was asking about the graying of the Google Classroom. So while Judy comes back, let's see if I can share it.
I have my classroom from school up and running if you want.
Sure.
Because I was actually talking to someone. You can add like animated GIFs, and it's really cool, but it gets boring really fast. So this is like for new teachers. I have a PD for new teachers in classroom, and this is an animated GIF. It is a bit much.
All right.
And I've noticed that the graying is now it's like a gradient.
Yes. That's what I wanted to share. Look here. These are two of my classrooms. And for instance, in this one, this is what I was telling on the chat. I made my banner like super bright so that it would show,
Yeah.
and it grays down only the bottom part, not the whole thing. And there was this other one that I made, this one. I didn't this year. I didn't put my Bitmoji, to be honest. I got tired of looking at it, and so this one worked a little bit better. So I made I have three groups, and they're labeled by A, B, and C. And so I made the same banner in three different colors. I already archived them all, but yes. Is Judy joining us now?
She was back. Somebody took a break. Hey, again.
Yes, you're back. We
Oh my
didn't stop
gosh.
clicking.
I'm so
Nobody pressed the
sorry.
button. There you go.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where I got off at. Where was I at?
You were showing us the stream, and you were showing how it's posting the digest, and you were going to, I think you were going to do a post. Which, by the way, I wanted to mention. So now that I'm here, um, when you showed how to just put the digest on the stream, the notifications from classwork posts, this year,
Yep.
I did for my students the elimination of that, so that they would actually go into the classwork tab to look for the post, because we organize the classrooms by month, you could say. So it's like, look for the top activity on the month, or like the topic was the month that we're in. And it got, at the beginning, a lot of students were like, I can't find it, I don't know where it is. And they eventually got the hang of it. And so it looks for more like of a cleaner classroom when you want to use your first tab, your stream, for actual announcements for the students, so it doesn't get lost, like, don't forget to bring blah 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 for Monday and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that you can take that off there, and I think it's easier for the students to know they have to go to classwork to look at their, makes
Yeah.
it way better. Is that my mic?
No, I think so. I don't know.
Okay. So
You ready?
I'm ready. We're pretty much close to done. So let me get back in there and just share my screen again because it went away. Hold on.
Okay. The beauties of being live.
I know. So it wouldn't let me post the actual announcement. So I think that's because my internet's running low. So I'm not going to post it because I don't want to lose y'all again. But that is basically what we need to do in classroom is, let's move to the right slide here. Oh, and I wanted to share this with you. So I've created an interactive Google Classroom tutorial. So if you use this bit.ly link, you can go to this tutorial, and what it will allow you to do is click through it, and you can click through. So if you just want to learn the stream, you can click on the arrow to go to the stream. And each slide has audio clips in there of me explaining different stuff in the Google Classroom. So you're welcome to use this, share this out with other teachers, especially, teachers that are first starting using Google Classroom. It's a really awesome tool. So I know when new teachers start with me, I don't have a lot of time with them. So I share this with them, and they're able to go in here and learn something that they might not have known. So you're welcome to that. And then finally, so what we needed to go over for level 1 is creating a class, which we did, posting an assignment, adding a due date. And don't forget about that time, because like I said, it automatically defaults to midnight. If you don't want your students up till midnight, because they will, they'll wait till the last minute, give it an earlier time. And adding a document from your Google Drive, I explained the difference between making a copy for each student, viewing a document and editing it, and then also posting on the stream. So that's it for Google Classroom.
Ooh, that was
Share my
great.
screen.
Yes, that was great, Judy. Like, except for the part where the internet got cut. It was a very good overview of all the things. Oh, I wanted to know, did you mention the invite link?
Yeah, I did. So like when you clicked on the class code, it did show below the class code how to get the link so you could send it that way. It's also available if you go to the People tab. Are you there, Pilly?
Yeah, so
Love
I don't
me.
know what happened. Sorry. So yeah, I wanted to say this because when we were online, you know how you said like you can display it and your students can join. When we were online, we had to find a different way to enroll our students that wasn't one by one. So what we did, all the teachers, we prepared like a spreadsheet to make like a table with the name of the class, you know, like homeroom and blah blah blah, and the invite link, and then we
Spreadsheets are
send it by
always the
mail.
answer.
Yeah, because Sheets is always the answer, and we sent it by mail for the students to join the classrooms because they were going to use those meets, you know.
I told you so. Spreadsheets are always the answer.
Yes, you are correct, Liz. And so yeah, and that's how they joined all their classrooms. And if they couldn't, like, if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to join the class because we were completely online.
I'm for my elementary school. I'm a Google admin. So what I do is I create Google groups for each class. So first A, first B, first C. So all teachers have to do is invite 1A at blah, 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 and then they get all invited. So they don't have to, especially for the little kids, they don't have to type in the code or anything. They just click accept in classroom. But that's another issue entirely.
Yeah, but that's when you have like access to the admin console and stuff, and when you don't, you don't. Right?
Yeah. So
right.
I have another joke.
Oh,
you know it.
Dear
You
Lord.
knew it.
I'm starting to be embarrassed by not knowing how to answer this, but go ahead. People are loving the jokes.
Who does Google call when it's in trouble?
It's not 911.
No. It's a screensaver.
Ghostbusters, was somebody say. Screensaver, because you know it saves the screen. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yes, you see,
So
I'm
next
starting
week
to be embarrassed not to know the answers.
So next we have Dana up, right?
Hey, I'm here. Yay, it's my turn. Hey,
so you're gonna do
Judy, that's a
sites.
great job on Classroom. I was just great tips and tricks. I can't wait to try some of those things out.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
So, all right, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do for us.
Well, mine's a little bit shorter than some of yours. I get to be doing Google Sites. So who's got the slide deck? I can grab the slide deck.
I can share it too. Just give me a minute. Somebody? Okay, there we go.
Okay, it's loading. There it goes.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Dana Cooney. I am a computer science teacher in Las Vegas, Nevada. I joined Global GEG about right at the beginning of COVID, so a little over 2 years ago, and I just have to do a really huge plug for making sure you get involved with your PLN. Your professional learning network is just an amazing resource to help you learn everything you need to know, and sometimes you don't have that group of teachers around you locally to support you, so it's really important to get to know some of us, in fact. So don't be afraid to just drop us a message on Twitter or say hello, because I love getting to know other teachers who are passionate about universal design for learning and the 4 C's and educational technology. I love educational technology. So please reach out and let's get to know each other a little bit better. So I'm going to be doing Google Sites. So I'm going to go ahead and grab we'll just go through the slide deck really quick because there's really not a whole lot you need to know about Google Sites for the level 1 test. That's one of the things I love about Google Sites. It's got a really low entry point, but you can make some really beautiful designs. So we're going to stick with the really low entry point and get you guys set for level 1. And then in the level 2, we'll go a little bit deeper. Also, it's a great idea to use the search and search people's Google Sites because you can see they've made some extremely professional looking, beautiful sites. But like I said, we're going to keep it really low and easy today. So there's not a whole lot of things we need to learn. We're going to go through them. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my screen now. And if we could take the slide deck off, that'd be great. Okay, here we go. And now I'm going to use the trick. And if you guys don't know, we've been talking about the tricks. Docs.new, sheets.new. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do site.new. I know you can't see my search bar there because I just shared a tab, but I just do sites.new and it brings up a new site automatically. So what do we need to know to be prepared for level 1? Well, the first thing you need to know how to do is to create a new site, and we've already done that. So now we're going to rename this site. So I'm going to come up here to where it says untitled site. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it my practice site for now. That's all we need to do. And then I'm also going to change the title. Now, a lot of times the title and the name will be the same, but you don't have to, which is so great. So I'm going to ditch this title and I'm going to call this one, let's do computer technologies. Let's see if I can zoom a little bit here, make this a little different shape so we can see that. Okay, that's a little bit better of a format. Okay, so we're going to call this computer technologies. And we're going to start over here with the content blocks. Now, these are some nice, beautiful layouts that are done for you, so you don't have to worry about putting everything together nicely. Now, you don't have to use them. You can do everything individually down here. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with the blocks for now. So I'm going to pull out a block. And now I have a place to put 3 pictures and 3 titles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these to be pictures that represent the pages that are going to be on the next screen. So I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to select a new image. And you guys, you can see the pop out. Okay, good. So we're going to go ahead and do Google image search. And I'm going to search for computer. All right, let's see here. What's a good picture to use? I don't see anything I like very much. Okay, we'll just use this one right here and we'll insert it. And then we got a picture of a computer. And this is going to be my logo for my class AP CSP. And then I can add another one, maybe for game design. And this one's pretty good right here. Maybe this one. Oh, that wasn't a very good picture. I'd probably switch that one out, but that's okay. And then maybe we have one for robotics. Ooh, we'll pick this one right here. All right, everything is shaping up nicely here. Let's make this picture just a little bit bigger. But now I feel like my theme is a little bit boring. So maybe I want to go ahead and change the image. I can go to select image and I can use a bunch of stock photos. Or I can even upload my own. I can also change the theme of my website over here. I usually use simple though, because I like my websites to be pretty simple. And then what we're going to do is we can even add a page. So we're going to come over to pages and we're going to click add. And I'm going to go ahead and add 3 pages, one for APCSP, one for game design, and maybe one for robotics. I'm going to come back to the home page. And now you can see I have the home page and it's highlighted in bold, which means I'm on it. And then I have my 3 sub pages here. And now what I could do is I could take this text and link it to the APCSP page. And I could take this game design text and I can link it to the game design page. And I can take this robotics text and I can link it to the robotics page. Now, there's a bunch of things I can insert here, not just pictures and not just the preset blocks. I can also add any of the Google things that I want. Like I can just simply add a calendar. Ooh, that was going to be a messy calendar. Forgive me on that one. And then we could add a Google Doc. Or maybe we can't because it's not going to load. Oh, here's my cheat sheets for today. All the things I was supposed to cover. And I just keep adding things. I can even add these things inside the content blocks themselves. Okay, so that's how we add the pieces and the links and all the stuff. That's how we change the name. That's how we change the theme. Now, the only complicated thing I think there is about sites is the sharing concept. Because when you're sharing collaboration, you need to know the difference between what. So people who have access. Now, this is people who can edit the actual website. So if I add Stacy Klein on here, she's going to be either an editor or can just publish the viewer. Either one, I'm good with those. Stacy, I trust her. She can do whatever she wants. But now, what about these down here? So right now, anyone with the link can view. Oh, I don't want that one to be an editor though. And then where do I want the site published? Do I want it public? Do I want it restricted? Do I want to remove the link completely because I don't want people to have access? I only want people to have access if I send the site to them. Got to think about these things. Now, these are a little more complicated than working with Google Docs because you're talking about the published site and you're talking about the work site where we're actually building the stuff. So you need to be a little bit careful and you might want to poke a stick at it before you go sending it to people with a trusted colleague or something like that. And then also, before we hit publish, which we're going to do in a minute, I probably want to preview it to make sure it looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button here. And ooh, this looks lovely. And I can go to my APCSP page, and then I can go back home. And then I can go to my game design page, and I can go back home. And once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and click back. Oh. Sorry. And now I think I'm ready. My website looks beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and publish it by hitting this button right here. And you can choose custom domains. I don't think I want to do that. Maybe we'll just call it Computer Technologies. Oh, that address is already taken. -3. And then I can go ahead and publish it. Now, if I ever want to unpublish it, I just need to come up here and hit unpublished. All right, well, I think that is what I'm going to cover for today. That's going to get you through the level 1 test. Like I said, it's a great, easy entry point for you guys to play around. I definitely suggest investigating some of these things over here, like collapsible groups and tables of contents and image carousels, because those are very attractive features to have on a website. But it's a great time to play with those. And yeah, why don't we have Judy and Peely come back on? And that was Google Sites. Did we have any questions in the chat?
I didn't see too many. I mean, people really like the idea of being able to search for images and knowing that they're copyright free within.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention that, Judy. What a great point. Is whenever you're using that, you know you're using images that you have permission to use, which is a really important skill to teach our students.
I love the fact I'm in the process right now of building a really involved site for our district, where my teachers can come and learn and train. So when new teachers come into the district, they can just go to that site and they can learn everything. Everything's there. All the options are there. So if I didn't get enough time with them, they'll be able to go there and find some things, and in addition to getting a hold of me. So there's lots of great uses for sites. I also love when students use them as portfolios.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing how simple the entry point is for Google Sites? Like anybody can make a site, and you don't have to teach these kids how to do it. You just give them the opportunity, and they jump right in. But then I'm sure, as you found out, you can really make beautiful, robust sites with Google Sites.
Yep, you can. You can.
Sorry.
So.
All right.
That's okay. Peely's getting ready because she's going to be presenting next.
All right. Well, I'm going to head out. This was so much fun. Thanks, you guys, so much for hosting. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to meet more people in my new PLN. I'll be watching Twitter and hopefully getting to know some new friends.
Well, and thanks for stepping in at the last minute, Dana. That's awesome and amazing.
Oh, so much fun. I'm so glad I did.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys later.
All right. Bye.
All right. So where's mine? I can't see me. My screen. There it is. Okay. So yes. Well, before we go into that, shouldn't we take a selfie? I saw some. I already retweeted some of the people that have been sharing our selfies. There it is. Thank you so much, Stacey. All right. So, yeah, we hope you're enjoying this overview of all the things that you're going to need for your level 1 exam. And it's my pleasure to now show you a little bit about groups. You don't need to know a lot about it, and it's very simple to use. So I'm going to start with telling you how to access groups. So one of the things that you can do is, like it says on the top of the slide, groups.google.com. And then you go into this page where usually if you have never been in a group and you haven't added yourself to a group list, it's going to be blank. But it's very, very similar to Gmail. So if you manage Gmail, you'll be fine. The things that you need to know about groups for your level 1 test is how to create a group and how to add members. So you're going to see right there on the screen, I think, I'm not sure. Yes, the GIF that I placed there. When you get the slides, you can go over it. But I also wanted to show you how we can do it live, like demonstrate a bit. Let me see if I can share this tab now. Mm-hmm. The tab where I'm going to, okay, so the bad thing of using a Chromebook, right? To share the screen. Let's go with the Chrome tab of, window. Subduty.
It's okay. It happens to all of us. But
right?
Now you just need a screensaver.
Oh my, oh my, Judy and the jokes. All right, there it goes. Um, so this is my work email. So try to ignore what it says. But yeah, so you have these. You know how it looks like. Yes, I do, Luis. Um, it looks like an email, like a Gmail cover. And to create a group is very simple. When once you're in groups.google.com, you go to create a group. You click on it right there, and it appears on your screen a little dialog box where you're gonna put in the information. The main information that you need is your group name. How do you want the name to be? For instance, there it's gonna be the name of the email listing. So the address, it gives it an address. Because the thing about Google Groups is that it's basically an email list. You're going to be able to invite people over to that group, and you can send them um, in one email the information to all of them at the same time without having to, like add address by address. That's basically the function of the groups. So you can put a group description or not. You move on to the next step. There are 3 steps. As you can see on the top, it says 1 out of 3. And it says who can search for the group. Since this is my work email, you can put the entire organization. That's the domain where my work email is, or just the group members. So I don't want the whole school to find out about my little group, and so I can just put it in group members. If I want to, like if it's only for the department or all the science teachers, and only that. And who can join the group? You can make it everybody, anyone can ask to join. When you make it available to people to search for it, anyone can join. You make it completely open, and you can just make it like only invited members. That would mean that you're going to add um, the emails one by one of the members of the group. You can also say who can view conversations. There are different levels of privacy here. Only the group owners, the managers. That's not the point though. So you want all the members to be able to view the conversations, and who can post it. You can see here. This one is added because it's part of a managed domain. But usually you would have like 4 levels, which would be like group owners, group managers, group members, anyone on the web. And the same thing for the members. Like for instance, when I was making the email group for our GEG, I made it that the members can only be seen by the group managers, so that nobody else can see the emails or has access to it, because we want to keep people's emails private, right? So you can make it only like the group managers can view the members, nobody else can see that. You keep the privacy of the members, so nobody else can access to their email. And if you're doing this for a school newsletter, your classroom newsletter, whatever, you don't want everybody to have access to everybody's emails, so that's why you would put the privacy there. And this is where you add members. So just like Dana placed, like you can put um, any sort of um, email account. See, these are students. So we're gonna put my name. I think I have my email address somewhere. I can invite myself. You can put group managers. So if you have a little group of people, like you have a co-teacher, somebody that you want to be part of your managers, you put it right there. And who's a group owner? In this case, it's me. And then you can put a welcome message. That would mean that they get this welcome message to say that they are part of this email group. And this subscription, you can decide it for the members, but the members can also change it. How many emails are they going to receive about this group? So you can have the each emails. Everybody, anytime everybody sends a message to that group, everybody receives it. Or digest, which is like a summary of all the emails that have been sent. An abridged version, which is like shorter even, or no email at all. No email at all would pretty much make the point of having a group moot. So try to make it either a digest or each email, depending on the purpose of this group and how often people are going to be sending responses of it. So you can create a group, and once you create it, you have, I'm gonna make it create. There you go. It takes a little while. It says group creation in progress, and then it's going to be added. It says 0 members added successfully because it's outside of the organization. It doesn't matter. We can go to the group, and we can see how does it look like right there. You see how it is? It says like an email. You have on your left your menu, and on your right, here is where the message would appear. So let's see. We have conversations approved and pending. You have access to members, users, etc. How do you send a message? This is very simple. You see this plus sign over here on top? It says new conversation. And so you can start a conversation within the group and say whatever it is. Hi, test message. So you see how it will appear. And it's sent just like an email. You see how easy it is? It's just like the same window that you would use to send an email. So you post a message. The message would appear here as a conversation. Right there. There's a conversation. So people would receive this in their email as a regular email, but it's also being able to be seen within the groups page. So when people access to like group.google.com, they have this group and they would have this message. But they don't have to enter it. That's the thing and the beauty about groups. They would go through their email and they would see it on their email. So let's see. For instance, here, I think I'm sharing this window. If I go to my email, and let's go and check. Dun, dun, dun. Takes a little while. Okay. While this is happening, how is it that people will then reply to a message? Once they get it as an email, they can just reply it as a regular email and it will appear here. Or when they open it up from the Google Groups, then you open up a message and it gives you the same options as if it was an email to reply to everybody, to an author, or forward that again as an email. So I think that's what makes Google Groups so easy to manage. The similarity to the email. There you go. Right there. It's taking forever, but it's right there. Practice. It says group practice created and ready to use. This is my email letting me know that I'll have a new Google group being created. Yep. Okay. That's it. What else do we need to see? I showed you how to create a group, how to add the members from the creation, how to post and send a message to the group. Now, the only thing that I'm missing to show you is like once you are within the group and you want to add more members, is this that is taking forever, this thing is right here where it says people in the menu. You put it on members, put yourself there since you're the creator of the group. And whenever this computer wants, it will happen. It will give you this option on the top part where it says the name of the group, practice. It says one member, it's myself because it didn't add my personal email account. It says add members, and that's where you can add people. It's very simple, actually. You just click on add members and it's open up again a little dialog box where you can put in whatever email accounts you want. Right there. You can add them as members, as managers, or as co-owners of it, and decide right there and there what their subscription is going to be, even um, at the beginning, and then they can go in and change the settings of the group. And that's it. That's all you need to know for level 1. Actually, very, very simple. Tara says that we make it look so easy. That's because it is. All you have to do is get clicky with it, like our friend Fons would say. Anybody has questions? What do you think?
So how all do you use it in school, Pilly?
How do we use it in school? In our school? Um, I don't really use groups for my students because that's what Classroom is for, thank God. But my boss uses it so that they can send a message to like the department of only 8th graders. You know, like all the teachers of 8th grade, they have an 8th grade group, and only to that group they send the information. If it's only for the 9th graders, they have a group for that. I don't know if you noticed at the beginning when I showed like all my groups, I'm part of like a whole bunch of groups that the organization has created, and so the school can like there's a group that says that is for workers with kids, and so if they have to let us know if there's gonna be like a specific perk for us, they send it to that one with like the information, and that's basically how you have it. You can divide your groups by the people that you want to receive this information. That's what the group is. It's a mailing list. Instead of
Yeah,
sending one by one of the emails of all the people, imagine in an organization where we have like more than 200 people in it, right?
yep.
And you want to send only to about 100 of it the information, you add them as members of a group, and then you give it a name so that you can find them really easily.
Yeah, we have it set up that we have teachers by grade level, and those teachers share resources back and forth through the groups.
That is
We
correct.
also have. I think your mic's being funny. So, but anyway,
And yeah, don't be afraid to try it. Like if you have more than one email address in your personal account, you can make groups for whatever you want. For instance, Stephanie, who's gonna join us very soon, has this group that is called Hello, right? Hello. Yes, and I receive them in both my email of my personal email and my work email, because she created this email for this email list, this group where people can share resources.
it's great. I get them too.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're amazing, and so that's what the email list is for. She can send out information about her upcoming projects and presentations and stuff on her YouTube channel, but also people post their questions and others share the resources. So it's like like little community that it's all done by email.
Okay, you want a joke?
Ugh, I'm afraid. Go ahead.
How does a tree use Gmail?
How does a tree use Gmail?
Yeah.
Um, let me think. Let me think. To avoid being cut? Oh, I don't know.
They log in.
Oh my god. Your puns are amazing.
Oh.
It is. It is very good. And Judy. I love it.
Well, are you ready for Stephanie?
Straight out of YouTube. Where's Stephanie?
I see her slides.
I wasn't sure if I should click or if someone
on,
else
Steph.
was going to click me.
You're fine.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
I'm so happy to see you, Steph.
I am so excited to see you. Oh my gosh, it's been crazy. YouTube is not going to cut this stream. Okay, there are no bad jokes here. Wow, Avid. Good thing he's not behind the scenes.
Oh, don't
Hey,
tempt
it's
him.
good to see
He
you.
will join us.
Oh, you don't like my bad jokes?
They're not bad. They're fantastic.
No, they're not bad.
They're funny.
They're not. Yeah, they're good. They're making me look really bad. That's all I can say. Because I have no wit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Stacy just mentioned in the chat, Google Groups with parents. Yes, that is a great idea to do that, because they can go back, and that's why I created a Google Group, so you can go back and you can see all of these old messages, and you're able to find everything quickly. So if you kind of do that, it's really nice.
Yeah. And if you want to create like a newsletter for your classroom, that's one way to do it. With the parents, like there are many different ways to do that, but one of them is the Google Groups. It's like one of the easiest ones. Or if you're going to have like a road trip, or how do you call them, excursion trips, when they get like kids to go on a place. If you want to organize the parents, just create the Google Group with the ones that are going, to send them out information, and then there's your proof that you sent it in the group.
aw. Stephanie has a
Look-
co-presenter.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, AJ's gonna join me because I hear Kevin snoring. Kevin was supposed to watch AJ, but I hear him snoring from my office. So where's Daddy? He's in bed. Oh no.
She's so pretty.
Team grid view. Wow, that's not a bad joke. All right, AJ, you ready to talk about YouTube?
All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay. AJ loves YouTube. What do you watch on YouTube? Oh, he watched monster trucks on YouTube. Anyone else in the chat watch monster trucks like AJ? He is like obsessed with monster trucks, and yeah, we use YouTube to watch it. There is so many amazing resources when it comes to YouTube.
I'm gonna let you be.
Okay.
Hi, AJ.
Say hi. All right, here we go, AJ. You ready? So when it comes to YouTube, you are able to do a lot of different things in your classroom. And one thing that they might kind of talk about on the test or ask about on the test is, how might you use it on you in the classroom? And in the classroom, you're able to send videos to your students that other people have created or have found. You're able to even use videos that you have made. I know that can be really nerve-wracking, but you can create these really cool videos and you're able to send them out. So I am with the Ohio GEG, which is really fun, and I get to co-lead that with Eric Kurtz. So that is my local GEG with the global one. And again, kind of like what Dana was saying about building your PLN. That is super important to do, and it's going to grow you as an educator.
Dada, Mama.
Yeah?
Yes, I do.
You want to talk about YouTube, or you want to go help Dada?
YouTube.
Okay, well then let's talk about YouTube, okay? All right, so with YouTube, we're going to be talking about how to create a channel. We're going to be talking about searching. We're going to be talking about playlists, and then subscriptions.
Baby, some down.
Oh, you need a drink. Okay. So when it comes to YouTube, the first thing you're going to do is you are going. Hold on. Hey, it's okay. Okay. You want to draw? You're going to draw YouTube. Okay. So when it comes to YouTube, you're going to go to youtube.com and click on the sign in. So what we're going to do is right here, we're going to type in YouTube, and we're going to just go to .com. Now on this account, I have not set up a YouTube account at all. It shows that I am signed in. And what I need to do is I need to start with creating an account. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the B, or your name, or your YouTube, or your photo, whatever pops up there. And you're going to hit create a channel. So again, click the B, create a channel. Once you create your channel, your name's going to pop up. You are able to customize this if you want to. And once you name it, you're going to hit create channel. You can also upload your photo here, but usually if you already have a photo on that account, it's going to be there as well. And so now that we have set up our profile, we are now able to kind of see, we're now able to see all of these different things backstage in our studio. What? Can you say hi to the camera? Okay, so say hi and here we go, okay? So with that, we have home, video, playlist, channels, and about. And then over on the sidebar, we have library, history, your videos, watch later, and liked videos. So again, you can kind of see all of these things backstage. If you start creating videos, they are going to be popping up here. For me personally, I like to use StreamYard if I'm going to do a live video for my teachers where they can kind of join in like you are right now. Or I might use an app called Screencastify, and it's an extension that you can use that you can quickly record your videos. After you record those videos, they're going to pop up here. You can also, after you create your channel, we're going to talk about searching in YouTube. So again, this is your channel. You're able to customize it. You can find your own videos here. But now that I'm at the home page, this is like where YouTube is, I'm able to search different videos. So if I'm talking about the water cycle, I can type in water cycle, and I can see all of these different videos pop up. And sometimes I can feel really overwhelmed by all of these different videos. So what I like to do is when I search, I like to then use filters. And when I use filters, I can go in here and I can do when it was last updated, the type, if it's a video, if it's a channel or playlist, but this is my favorite. My favorite is the duration. I can decide how long of the video do I want it to be. And we know with research that a lot of videos should be under 15 minutes when it comes to teaching and with students. And so because of that, I might look at the 4 to 20 minutes. Or if I want a quick video, I might do under 4 minutes. So what I might do is I'm going to click the under 4 minutes, and it's going to filter out some of those videos that were longer than 4 minutes, which can allow me to quickly find different videos and assign them to my students. So that was filters, and we searched quickly just water cycle. You can search monster trucks. You can search whatever you want to teach your students, and you're able to find those different things. So again, under 4 minutes is right here. And now that I have 4 minutes, I can find my video that I want to share with my students. I'm able to click it and quickly watch it. One reason I really like to use video in the classroom, or YouTube, especially in the classroom, is because of all of these tools at the bottom of the video. I'm able to turn on CC or turn it off. And then I can have my students read along and they can listen. So they're kind of able to comprehend a lot better than just before when they might have just had just the sound. So some students are able to see both of the closed captions, and they're able to see that CC. You can also teach students to go into the settings, and they can do the playback speed, where they can speed up or slow down the video. This is great for your English language learners, and students are able to slow down their video if they need to. And Abid is correct. With Drive having a new limit on their drive space, you're going to want to start uploading your videos to YouTube. And I have a longer video that kind of walks you through that I'll share later in the chat. But that can be a huge thing as well. After this, you're able to subscribe to different videos. You're also able to share this video if you wanted to with your class. So to share that video, hey. You can share this video, and you're able to copy this and paste it in your Google Classroom or your learning management system. You're also able to send it on Facebook if you have a Facebook parent group. You can send it directly to Twitter, email. There's so many different ways that you're able to kind of share this. You also have the option right here to click the start at, and I can actually start this video at whatever time I want it to start. So if there's like a weird intro for my students, I can actually change this to start at the 1 minute mark. And then I can share that exact part with that student or that class. So up here, another trick I like to teach, because I know students with ADHD, they can sometimes get distracted in YouTube. They have all of these videos over here. They've got down here. It's distracting. You can make this full screen by clicking this button, or you can just go ahead and force it as a teacher, because I know a lot of my students aren't going to do that. So up here in the URL, between the T and the U and YouTube, you just put a little dash, and now it's exactly full screen. And the students don't have the ads on the side. There are no ads that will pop up. So this is a great tip if you are trying to use video in your classroom, but you're like, I am sick of those ads. I'm sick of getting distracted by those. Again, you can go up here to the URL, in between the T and the U, put a little dash, enter, and now it's full screen for you and your students to use YouTube in your classroom. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about subscribing. So I'm going to go back to youtube.com.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. And I like to search Global GEG. So Global GEG, we can see right now we're live with the Bootcamp. So when I search a channel, sometimes with education, you can find a channel that you're able to use in your classroom. And so right here, I have Global GEG, and I'm going to click subscribe. So right here is that subscribe button. And I am able to get notifications by clicking this little button. For any time Global GEG goes live, I will get an email alert or an alert on my phone to know that, hey, this channel just added a new video, which can make it really nice to follow along when I have those different videos. And again, I can see the different videos they have. I can see their playlist. I can see the community if there's anything going on in the chat. And then I can follow other channels that may be similar to Global GEG. So again, here are all of those different videos that I'm able to follow along with at my fingertips. So now we're going to talk about playlists. So playlists can be a great way to organize your videos. And so when you find a video, so like let's go ahead on here. Oh, hey, that's me. I didn't know that was going to be me. You can find a video and you are able to click right here, the save button, and I can create a new playlist, and I'm able to save all the videos that I might need for my students to use. I like to do this when I'm teaching different concepts. I will put my domain up at the top. So if I'm teaching fractions, I'll put fractions, and then every single subpart of fractions, I can add separate videos so that way I can quickly find and send them to my students. This works great when I have fractions and my students are struggling with denominators. I can send them that video that talks about when the denominators are different. So if they've mastered the other parts of solving fractions when the denominators are the same, they can skip that part of that video and I can go down to the next video on that playlist. So playlists can be really great to use in the classroom with your students. And then when you're editing a playlist, you are able to go in and you're able to change if you want your playlist. If you want your playlist to be public or private. So if you just want your students to have access to your playlist, you're again going to go into your YouTube channel, which I am going to pull up on this account now because that other account did not have videos. So once you start adding your videos in by clicking this button and uploading those videos, you'll start to have a bunch of different videos in your library. So on this one, I have tons of different videos uploaded on my channel. I'm going to go into my studio. And now that I'm in my studio, I can go into playlists. I have already created some playlists by clicking that button and creating those different playlists. And so now I can click this little edit button. I can reorder these so that they're in the exact order of what I need. And I can also change this from public to private. I can also do unlisted. So unlisted would just be those kids with the link. Private would just be me. So I want maybe all of my parents to see it. If I just want maybe my students to see it or whoever has the link. And then I can do private. Google has also made it so when you are creating your own videos and you are adding them to your channel, you can go in here in the edit button and you're able to do the visibility and you can do where it is private and you can share it just with your domain. So if I just want my school district to see this, I can click this button. I can notify them or I don't have to. But this is huge because then you are able to share different things that can only be shared in your district with your students. So again, that is under visibility, click private, share privately, and then you can just click your domain for your school district if there's a video that you can only share in-house with your students or your school district. And I'm trying to look through the chat real quick. I don't think I saw any questions, but if there are questions, please, please, please drop them in. So that way we can kind of answer any questions you have. But with that, you can also share your playlist. We talked about how you can share that playlist by going to your playlist. So again, using the sidebar, here are all of my individual videos. Here are my playlists that I have. And then I can click edit. And then once I have all of these videos all together, I can click this little button and I'm able to share it with whoever I might need to share it. You're able to do that as well. And then we talked about subscribing. So again, just clicking that button to subscribe. So that way you get the most recent notifications and you can kind of know. So again, just clicking that button, you can just know what is upcoming and happening. So right here is that subscribe button. Make sure you click it for your favorite channels because it makes it quicker and faster for you to find. So over here are different channels that I have subscribed to, and I'm able to quickly click and I can see what's new and what's happening and how can I learn from YouTube and with that other channel as well. All right, thanks for joining us. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Say what? Can you wave?
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you did a great job. Thanks for helping, AJ.
Yes.
Can you say you're welcome?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh, so cute. Thank you so much, Stephanie. You know, one of the things that I learned with the playlist thing is that you can also do a playlist of your videos. Like, for instance, I made a playlist of all the videos where I appear to be presenting something because I'm not as super productive as Stephanie is. And I wanted to share it on my resume, on my I made that playlist and then I put that link in my resume. And so if anybody wants, if anybody wants to take,
Uh-oh, we lost
sorry,
Lost her again.
what I was saying is that if anybody wants to look at the things that I've done, because they're not on my channel, because I did them somewhere else, like in Global or in another as invited in some other channel. It's not in my channel, but I want people to see it, so I share that playlist.
That's a great idea.
Great job, Stephanie, balancing being a working mom and a professional trainer. You pulled it off with grace and style and inspired all the rest of us, all the rest of the parents in the audience.
I know, he was waiting by the door and I was like, just come in. But there was a question in the chat for how do you unsubscribe? Where you click subscribe, you just click it again to unsubscribe. And then I'm going to put a link in here to a longer YouTube video that I did if you're interested in using this in your classroom with your own videos and saving them into your Google Drive, just like Abid was talking about, to save some room in your drive if that ever becomes an issue. Thanks, guys.
And Peely's decided that AJ is the world's youngest Google trainer now, and Abid backed her up.
Can you dance? Dance.
Yay, AJ.
And so now we're going to move on to signing up for the test, right?
Stephanie are adding and removing her from the stream. That was hilarious. Thanks, Judy. Yeah, so the next part, this is the fun part. This is where you get to show your stuff. And as Judy mentioned before, the test, we don't want to say it's easier. It's not easier. It's still, a very important and topic, and it takes a lot of, practice. And like Louis says, when you get frustrated with slides, don't give up, persist, resilience. productive struggle, and you'll get better at it. But I love the test because it's a way to shine. It's a way to get a really cool looking badge to share with people and to demonstrate your knowledge. So we don't want you to be stressed about it. I'm going to show you some tips before the test had its profound change to facilitate ease of testing. They took out the practical part. It used to be, part of the reason is just dealing with having to photograph someone during testing for testing authenticity and things like that. It made it very convoluted to set up these anonymous accounts and to wait for the test to be ready. So with the new system, it's different, but it's a little faster. So I just signed up. It's my third time to recertify. And I just signed up. I wanted to go through all the steps since this is the part that I'm talking about. And I registered for my test and I got my test in an hour. It used to take 24 to 48 hours. And sometimes it would even get, for some people, it would get lost in the email, in the ethers. And so it's very quick and resilient. And I think it's a little bit faster for people to finish now. That being said, and this audience, you are good. You are amazing, and I know you're going to pass the first time. However, there's no harm in practicing. And so before we had the test, I used to have this how-to guide. I used a Google Sheet to have all the links to how to prep the best. And my feeling is that there's no better way to practice than to use the materials that they've already released in here. So if you go to fundamentals training, you're going to see everything you need to pass this exam. If you are already really comfortable in an area, you can skip by it. But even I've been a trainer for 6 years, and this is my third time being recertified. I don't have any trouble at all passing these. I still do all of the lesson checks and the unit reviews. So when you go to the fundamentals training, and the links are on my slides, you can see that there, you just click get started. And if you are new to this, then I recommend looking at everything. Like Luis said, computers and all these computational solutions are because we're inherently lazy, and it makes things easier. So why do this twice? This was put here. It's documentation. It's done by the people that actually created the test. Use it. So if interact with it as much as you have time for. Watch the videos of your fellow educators. These are real educators, and it was real educators who made the exam. This wasn't a testing company that did this. So all these things help you. So you look at the lesson check, and I'm just going to so which of the following has had an impact on education now that the internet is easily accessible? I'm just going to press one to get a wrong answer, right? Check the answer. It tells you, nope, try again. You may do it as many times as you need. When you get to and if you want to move around, you can click on the little navigator. But when you get to the unit review, you take the test. This is really cool. So you have to log into Launch. I don't want to log into my account right now. But when you do log into Launch, it will give you the questions. You'll take the test just like a normal test that you do with your students. Then you're going to check your answers. If you do not get a passing grade, you retake it. So it's not meant to make you feel uncomfortable, and they show you the answers. So when you take the test, if you are missing one, you review the answers. It shows you what they're looking for. A lot of times, as an educator, you know how to write a good test question. You know when a test question is tricky. Maybe you didn't intentionally make it tricky, but you look at it again, you realize the wording could be confusing to someone. That's going to happen to any test situation. So when you look at your answers, you're going to see why you got it wrong. And you might say, oh, I see what they're looking for. Bingo. That's your key to passing this exam. You know how the test writers are thinking. You know what they're looking for. You know the kind of reasoning they're looking at. And that helps you with your test prep. I feel like it's like reps as an athlete. So these are your athletic reps as you're getting ready to pass those questions quickly. So now that you are aware of where to practice, Now you're ready to take the exam. Don't forget, do all the lesson checks and do all the unit reviews. They will take you very little time. If you do the whole course, all the 13 units are about an hour a piece, maybe a little more. So it's a good chunk of time for doing professional development or something. But if you're just doing the quick reviews, it won't take you that long to do the exam questions. So now we're going to look at the review for the registration guide. Yay, everything's loading so nicely. I was going to do my slides and I was like, well, I guess I don't need to do my slides because this brochure is unbelievable. Let me see. I'll stretch this out a little bit. Everything you need is in there, screenshot by screenshot. The links are there for how to log into the Teacher Center. You're going to always log into your Google account. Now, if I can give you one piece of advice, I'm Stacy Klein on the internet everywhere. I don't have multiple identities. Sometimes you need those, and that's great. But if you have trouble keeping track of your multiple identities, you might want to consider just using that one Gmail that you're never going to get rid of in your whole life. So you're never wondering where your certifications are, where those reply emails are. Every time I look for my credentials, which are now level 1, level 2 are now tied to blockchain. So they're very resilient certification. I never wonder where they are. They're all tied with my one Gmail account. I have my work one. Anything I do with my work, I do there. But all my professional stuff, I keep with my personal Gmail. So I can't stress that enough. Make sure if you have multiple identities that you're able to keep track of them. So you log into your account, you go to the Teacher Center, and then it takes you step by step how to do every part. Because when you get to the part where you create your Criterion account, you can see there's quite a few little screens. So you're going to create an identity in Criterion. You're going to associate it with your Google account. Put whatever contact information you want. I know a lot of friends are very private about their location. Use your school address. That's totally fine. Caveat, a lot of you rock stars, I've been working in the same district for, 32 years. I've had literally 2 employments. I worked for 7 years at a police department, and then I worked 32 years at a school district. Nobody does it like that anymore. All of my rock star friends, you guys out there in YouTube land, are going to new positions and new adventures and things like that. So pick an address that isn't going to change over time. So I just use my own PO box. But if you feel concerned about your privacy, please use your work address. It's not a problem. And then you've got your account in Criterion saved. Now it's time for that exciting part of registering for the exam. You're going to select the exam. Let me widen this up a little bit so you can see the whole screen. And it's going to say for educators. Then you're going to buy that level 1 exam. If you have recertified, if you have already certified, it will gray this out. So you don't have to worry about accidentally purchasing an exam you don't need. And if you got a coupon code, in Santa Ana Unified, I used to buy everybody, all my teachers, their coupon code. And then after the pandemic, we're kind of reorganizing ed tech in our district and stuff. So I don't have those right now. But if your district or an organization gives you the free coupon, that's where you'd put it. Credit card information is pretty straightforward. And then once you have done that, it will give you a confirmation email. So it's going to tell you your assessments right there. The Criterion is your one stop. You're going to get stuff driven through your email, but the other nice thing is you're going to be able to see that all in there. So you've got a scheduled exam. Then you're going to get a receipt, which is the receipt's helpful, but not critical unless you're keeping it for your tax purposes. The one that's critical is the launch the exam email. This one you want to make sure, that's why you want to make sure you know which email you're using. And before you get ready, make sure you have the latest version of Chrome, do your Chrome update. If you do this like the day before and get ready, then you're not going to be as stressed. Then you have 8 days to log into the exam. There's additional resources in this brochure, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the actual email that I received. So I need to change my screens. I'm going to share again. here's the letter you're going to receive. And since we've moved to the PDF of my email that I received, it's going to give you the date. It's going to tell you when your exam expires. Remember, everything's in UTC, so you can do YouTube. I mean, you can do a Google search to convert the time. But basically, if you're cutting it that close, you really are last minute. So you've already updated your Chrome version. You're running a system check to make sure everything is working. To start your exam, it's an easy click. I don't want to click it. I don't want to start my exam. Remember, you get 3 hours. You will not need 3 hours. It is an open internet exam. I can't stress this enough. Google doesn't expect you to be rote memorization. Google wants you to be an empowered educator, an empowered learner. So if there's something that you don't remember, Google it. You're fine. We as trainers, we advocated for that. Google's very responsive to the educators, and Google for Education is driven by educators. So it was neat that we keep that idea that lifelong learners, and also if I don't know, I'll find it, which is a great position to, a great mindset to have. So you won't need the 3 hours, but why not book it? What happens if the internet goes down? If the internet goes down, your exam will you can continue your exam. If you have any issues and the internet goes down and you're not able to finish your test, you email Google support, or if you are having trouble with that, you can email one of us in Global and we'll reach out on your behalf, and you will get another exam token. To one way or the other, you'll be able to get your exam again. You have to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, exam privacy. You may not share any information with these boot camps. We have to be very specific, very careful to not share specifics about the exam. General things are fine. All those released questions in the Teacher Center, that to me, that's gold, because they've released the questions that they're going to be asking you. So that stuff is available to help you, but otherwise, don't mention any exam things. If you Google something, a hypothetical in your exam, and you accidentally find the answer to that thing, get off that website immediately, because that would be considered cheating. You're allowed to have an open internet exam, but you are not allowed to look at exact test prep word for word answers. That, of course, the same way you would feel about your students doing it, Google would feel the same way. Technical errors, it's easy to solve. And I think that we are good. I just got to get back to my other screen. Hooray. Stop sharing. But you got this. Yes. Yeah. You can't, right, Luis? I haven't taken it 3 years.
No, I was going to say, if for some reason you mess up or you forget or you have a rough time or like the world exploded, if you don't pass on your first try, you do have to wait for 15 days before retrying again. If you fail again, then you have to wait a month. If you fail yet again, you have to wait 6 months. And if you fail yet again, you have to wait for a whole year. So be sure to be using equipment you're familiar with. If it's like the first time you just purchased a brand new, something new, like if you're switching from Windows to Mac, and you're gonna want to, break in your Mac, and then you don't know how to use copy paste and stuff, oh no, run away, because you're gonna go crazy and something weird is bound to happen. So
Yeah.
be sure to use like familiar equipment, and that'll be a lot better. And don't worry about failing, but if you do fail, know that you can retake the test after a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Did we answer this? Does it require a camera? Does it still require a camera?
Yeah, it's still the same criterion system, right, Luis? I haven't.
Yeah, they do require a camera. They'll take a picture every once in a while. You don't know when, because the camera's always on, but then they will take a picture every now and again to make sure that it's always you taking the test.
And when you're taking your exam, remember, it's a secure testing system. So you don't want somebody like leaning over you during the test. It's okay to have busyness. They know you're in an office environment or you're at school or blah, blah, blah. But if it looks like somebody is giving you assistance, they will audit you. So be aware of that. And then again, remember, if you have a technical error and you can't finish the test, email support. They will reset your test for you. Luis is talking about if you fail it, no problem. You can take it again 2 weeks. Google's really good about that. They don't let you take it again in 5 minutes. They want you to go back, study what you think you struggled with, and then take the test so that you are, your certification has meaning.
That is correct. So, people, don't forget to join the Kahoot challenge. There is the bit.ly for you to access. I saw some of you have already started it. That's great. Use it for reviewing. Also, don't forget to take a selfie. Yes, so we can retweet it. Tag hashtag global gig or hashtag bootcamp 22. There's also already, who were asking in the beginning, the bit.ly for the slides. It's already been placed on the chat for you to
Yay!
take a look at it.
I'll put it in the banner too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judy and Peely. You knocked it out of the park. And Luis, that was more wonderful things about sheets than anybody's ever heard. There, everybody's so grateful because sheets are what scare people. Math, right, Peely?
That is correct.
But that's because math teachers are so mean, and chemistry teachers are even worse.
Hey,
Love chemistry
we are
teachers.
very good and nice people.
I
We
still
just-
remember my chemistry teacher.
If not, they
We
can
just
fire
want our
off
students to learn well. We just want our students to learn well, not cheat.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you go
Yeah,
ahead
and
and take your test, and you can share with us on Twitter when you get your certification, and we'll be happy to retweet and reply and congratulate you on it.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to see all the people that get their certification.
Hey, and thank you to everybody who tweeted today. You guys got a lot of mileage, ladies. On the people were tweeting like crazy, especially our librarian out there. And I've been putting her in the chat.
Luis, there's a problem with the slides. It says something went wrong.
The only slide left is the Q&A slide. So if you guys want to do the Q&A.
I'm checking it as we speak. It must be a permissions thing. I'll be right back.
All right, so I have a joke.
Another joke. Okay.
Why was the Cookie Monster upset?
There were no cookies. Oh, you erased the cookies.
Yes, good job.
Yeah, good job.
See, you got it. Good job.
Ba-da-ba.
Oh, there you go. The whoever copied the address apparently got it wrong. I was looking at the comments. Tiffany, tell us if you can access now.
Should work. I tried it in an incognito window, which is my go-to, and it's working perfectly. At least it should.
All right. There you go. Thank you. We're ready to go.
There needs to be
Enjoy our weekend.
Yay.
All right.
Thanks, ladies.
All right, thanks
And gentlemen.
everyone. Good luck on your test.
Yay, you got this.
Don't forget to share when you pass.
Oh yes.